Hey, welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing Podcast Open Lines Friday edition for everybody, which means you get to join the show if you so wish to. And of course, before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way, fellas. You know the drill. If you want to keep the gravy train a-rolling, you can certainly do so by donating with the Super Chat. Of course, we prefer that you join the BDA membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck, special emojis, badges, a whole shebang. And she will bang. Now, the most important thing is that you continue to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and to spread that BDA gospel, alright? Spread it nice and good. In any event, shout out to everybody out there. You know how it works. We're going to be opening up the panel very, very soon. And I want to give a shout out to everybody that's joining us in the chat room here. Shout out to Jaguar, Egg, Kyle L, Omar E, Andre Shooter. Shout out to Andre. Reporting for duty, he says. Eparokua, WK Devon, JumpTube, Bernard, Bernhard, The Yes, Martin Kearney, The Candyman, Team Boxing, Batman Boxing, Toti Kidos, Super Anderson Aldo, and many more to come, I'm sure, fellas. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate having you on board here. Now, there's a lot to talk to here. But at the end of the day, you guys decide what you want to talk to, so let's get to it here. This is the BDA Discord. All you got to do is join, put in a username, remember your password. We don't ask you to verify the account, so you don't have to go to your email account in order to verify it. You just put in an email address, password, and boom, you're in. So once you're in the Discord, whether you're in your laptop or you're on your PC or your phone, go to the left-hand portion of the screen. If you're on your phone, you have to drag left to right, and you should see this here, this part that I'm highlighting. And there's one that says voice channels, and you should see a speaker icon. Click on the speaker icon, and you've joined the panel. It's that simple. All right. Again, like I said, there's going to be a lot to talk about. I want to give a shout out to MMA champ and Felipe. They're running the BDA League, the prediction league on the Discord, and let me just see who's who here. There you go. They've compiled a list of the standings. And as you can see, Wavy Van is number one so far. But again, we still have a long way to go before the end of the year. So anybody could overtake him for the top spot. So go check that one out as well. Shout out to MMA champ and Felipe. We'll talk more about that if MMA champ jumps by. I'll ask him more about it. In any event, enough pontificating here. Let's go to the main voice channel here. Start cooking with a little oil. All right, here we go. Yo, fellas, can you hear me? All right, someone's playing. Hank, someone's playing music there. Hank, you gotta mute that music there. All right, more and more people are jumping in here. I see we got a whole bunch of people. So, fellas, thank you for joining us. I see Bucho's here. And Bucho, I know you wanted to maybe go first, right? And talk a little bit about the odds. Certain gambling going on here.
No, I was looking at the odds for the Tyson Fury Dillian Whyte fight, and they're pretty good if you're gonna bet on Whyte now. So people are gonna call me crazy, but it's possible that Dillian Whyte wins this fight. Listen, let me tell you the odds here. Dillian Whyte wins by decision. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
All right.
Hold on. Hey, D Wervo, there's music coming. Yeah, there's music coming from D Wervo or whatever his name is.
Give me it. All right. So Dillian Whyte by technical decision, by decision or technical decision, 25-1. All right. Then a draw, 25-1. And then if you go to group betting, so let's say Dillian Whyte wins between rounds 4 and 6, that's 22-1. Between round 7 to 9, 16-1. Those are pretty good odds, man. Now, can Whyte actually stop Fury? That's a real question. I think it's
What?
possible, man. You gotta call me crazy. I think it's possible.
Well, before we
I
get to
saw
that,
Tyson
let me
Fury
just
being fast again.
let me read the super chat here
Yeah.
real quick. Shout out to Nicholas Argyros for his contribution with the super chat. He says Whyte will not come close to what Wilder did. Well, what do you guys think about that? The odds that Bucci just read. I know some of you are inclined to wager. Is this something you guys would be interested in? All right. I see we don't have any responses yet, but I mean, Bucho, so the main question to you then would be, are you willing to place a wager?
I mean, with those odds, you can place a small amount. Why not? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just for fun.
So what are the odds for what? I'll literally just turned up.
Yeah, Bucho, because
What
can
are
you
the
send me
odds for Yeah.
can you post the photo on the Discord? Because I tried to download it from the Discord and it's showing up blank.
Okay. Give me a minute.
By the way, Doctor Wevo, there's a lot of background noise where you're at. So I don't know if you go somewhere quiet or stop moving around because it sounds like you're banging your desk there, and we can hear it. All right, man.
Right.
All right. So yeah, man. Listen, I gotta tell you, Butch is bringing up a good point here about the odds. They look good, and I gotta tell you, man, these people that are going around saying Fury wins easy, maybe he does, but let's face the facts. He's very undisciplined outside the ring, and I gotta tell you, I don't see him as being invincible. He beat Wilder twice, and that's what people are banking this on, that he's invincible heavyweight champion of the world.
What has Whyte got over Fury predominantly in any aspect of? Obviously, he's got power. Well, power. Anything else he's got? Has he got technique or speed? What else has he got?
He's got a good jab, good body punching. He shows up in shape, and Fury doesn't. It could be a long night.
But has Whyte got the stamina with all that muscle as well?
Well, yeah, now that is an interesting point right there. What does everyone else think about this Whyte Fury fight? Yeah.
Do you honestly feel that Dillian Whyte is better than Deontay Wilder?
That's an interesting question right there, man.
I don't know. You
I
can
do.
make a case for it. You can make a case for it because I mean, first of all, look at Dillian Whyte has a better resume. He has a better record than Wilder. So it's difficult to compare them when Wilder just fought like nobody's, right?
I'll give you that. I'll definitely give you that. But I'm not gonna lie. When I look at Dillian Whyte, it wasn't Jonathan Duhaupas that he fought. Who was the guy that he fought on the was it Maurice Walk? And I know he was coming off a layoff, but I've seen performances like that. Maurice Walk, Robert Hellenius. Sometimes I see Dillian Whyte shows up. He has a really good resume, but a lot of these really good wins that he has were close fights. Fights that, the Joseph Parker fight, one of his better wins on his resume. That was a really close fight. The Oscar Rivas fight, he got hurt towards the end over there. So, when I assess Whyte, I definitely think he has a good resume. I definitely think he's a top 5 heavyweight. But in my opinion, I think the guys like Joshua, Usyk, Fury are just a level above him. Now, I do believe that Whyte has a chance against Fury, but I think that what BDA was talking about earlier, I think we have to rely on Tyson Fury not being that focused and taking this fight lightly, because I do think Tyson Fury on his best night, I wouldn't say he boxed circles around Whyte, but I think it could be like one of those fights where it's like a 8-4 type of fight.
I agree.
I think it's possible for Fury to get rocked. I mean, he did against Wilder.
Yeah.
But
Wilder,
all right. Regardless of like, Wilder has, I don't think Wilder has the skill that Whyte has necessarily. He's not as fundamentally sound, but Wilder has a lot more power than Whyte.
But I wonder.
He has power, but
I wonder with Whyte losing to Povetkin, has that obviously maybe given people less reason for Whyte to win?
Povetkin's a good fighter. He could do that to a lot of guys on any night if he catches them in a moment where they're unfocused. Povetkin's a good fighter. He's never been a world champion before, but I think Povetkin was always a top 10 heavyweight when when he was active.
No.
Agreed.
Well, can I say something real quick? Shout out to Nicholas Argyros for his contribution to Super Chat. He says Wilder would have never got chinned by a 40-year-old Povetkin. Well, shout out to Nicholas Argyros for his contribution. But that's an interesting point. He would have never gotten chinned by him, but he never fought him. And we can only speculate about what. I mean, I think he
and
would.
by the way, I'm just saying that obviously Fury comes in at 100%. He beats Dillian Whyte. I don't doubt that. I'm banking on that a possibility of Fury not showing up at the 100%, and also taking into consideration that Dillian Whyte is a veteran boxer and maybe he can pull it off.
Listen, Fury's the favorite. Fury's the favorite, but let's not. I mean, he beat.
What I'm saying, one last point: the stars have to align basically for that to happen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The thing is, though, I know BDAU said White's got a better jab, but Fury is taller and he should have a longer jab anyway to stop that going on, correct?
Yeah, but I mean, just because you're taller doesn't necessarily.
Sure.
I mean, you got to know how to use that length. And Fury.
No, of course.
I mean, listen, Fury's a good fighter because he's got a lot of elements that he puts at work that make him difficult to beat. Like you said, Kinshiro, he's very tall. On top of that, he's got awkward defense that throws everybody so far, has thrown everybody off for a loop. But when you take a look at the Klitschko fight, very, very tame affair. Very few punches landed. They could have given that to Klitschko. I thought they were going to give it to Klitschko. I had Fury winning, but it's not like he dominated to the point where I wasn't nervous that he was going to get.
Klitschko was very gun shy, though, wasn't he? That night.
Exactly, and Fury made him that way. I give Fury credit, but at the same time, I criticize him for not doing that good with his offense. Then you get the Wallin fight. That was a very close fight too, as well, very competitive. Then you get the wins over Wilder. I mean,
I mean, if that was beat Whyte, if that fight happened, I honestly think Wallin would have beat Whyte. And I'm gonna be real, was Whyte really injured? Because the night that he was supposed to be headlining that card, he was there. I'm never gonna question any fighters being injured or anything because fighters always get injured in training camps. It's part of the sport. But I don't know. I really feel like that was kind of a move to play it safe.
Which fight are we talking about?
We're talking about, you remember how Dillian Whyte was supposed to fight Otto Wallin at one point?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That I do suspect. Yeah, I think he wanted that big payday. And he didn't want to have
to.
And
that's the thing. Yeah. I think that
it didn't pay off though with him getting knocked out by Povetkin afterwards, didn't it?
Listen, Dillian Whyte, you can't blame that guy. He's been the number one contender for the WBC belt for how many years now?
I don't know.
Yeah, but
I mean, so now we're thinking he's scared of this guy, or yeah, go ahead.
I'll look at
what's up with that B sample though? I get it. He has been the mandatory for a long time, but I'm not gonna make any allegations or anything. But he did have that whole B sample thing that was going on for like almost a year after the Oscar Rivas fight.
I look at it like this whole thing. I agree. Otto Wallin would have beaten Dillian Whyte. I think he would have stopped Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte reminds me of a younger Derek Chisora, if you want to look at it. That's what he reminds me of.
I think they're a lot. They're different.
I was gonna say the same exact thing. I really think this fight is gonna look a lot like Fury versus Chisora, except we don't have the same Fury as before. He's a little bit, sloppier, heavier, regressed a little. It's not gonna be a total wash like that. But he's going to want to keep Dillian Whyte way far out on the outside with that jab, because Whyte has that quick, reflexive, out of nowhere left hook that can just turn you off. And he's going to try to do that same thing and just jab and just use that distance to keep him away and wear him out. And then that's what I think it's going to look like.
I know you mentioned about Fury's gotten slower and sloppier and all that sort of stuff. I get that, and I'll probably agree with you. But is it possible to say that he's even at least gained experience since that last sort of win as well?
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely gained that experience. He's got a little more tricks up his sleeve. I think he believes a little bit more in his size and his strength, that he can use that if he needs to, like he did in the third and second fight with Wilder. Absolutely. But I think that just gives Dillian Whyte a little bit more of a chance to get that real sneaky, quick left hook that he has out of nowhere. And I think
Hank, you're breaking up, man. Yeah, Hank, you're breaking up. Jump in and out. Jump in and out, and maybe that helps. Hey, by the way, I was just give a shout out to William Yates
I'm sorry,
in the no problem. Shout out to William Yates in the chat for his contribution, man. He didn't leave a message, but William, really appreciate it, and thank you for your contribution. Hope you're enjoying the show. Okay, so back to this Whyte thing. All I'm saying is I don't think I'm still. It remains to be seen whether Fury is that good, and that's why I like this fight because it's gonna let us know. Like if he dominates Whyte, beats him up, outboxes him conclusively, then it's gonna be okay. Fury really does have an argument because Usyk's out of commission. He's getting shot at over there in Russia. I don't know if he's gonna make it out of there. Hopefully he does. But for the moment, it's still Joshua, it's still Fury, and it's still Wilder up in there. And by the way, can I mention that in the last show I talked about how Joey Jones versus Joshua was a possibility, and I was asking people how they would think it would go. Now Eddie Hearn said that he thinks Joshua is considering Luis Ortiz or Wallin because they're southpaws and they're still planning on fighting Usyk. He also said that Joey Jones is a possibility and that AJ even talked about Deontay Wilder. My question to you is, which fight out of those four possibilities would you like to see first?
Come on now, it's Wilder. It's not going to happen because we're all boxing fans. We know our sport. We know how these politics play out. I mean, it's fun to think about wishful thinking, but if you ask me that question of out of those four fighters, it's Wilder. That's a fight that boxing still needs. I think, come on now, we pretty much seen a lot of the boxing fan base get split up over that whole thing.
I also like to see him fight Joe Joyce.
The problem is AJ's going to want to play it safe. Can you imagine him fighting Wilder and losing? That's it. Okay. It's all done and dusted.
All right. So what do you guys believe Joe Joyce's best win is? Daniel Dubois?
I think Joe Joyce is good personally.
He's a good fighter. He's an Olympian. He's a good fighter. He has the pedigree and everything. But his best win is Daniel Dubois. That's a good win. Daniel Dubois is yet to prove himself on that world level as well. Joe Joyce's two best wins up to this point were like Daniel Dubois and he fought, what's his name? Carlos Takam.
Okay, but let's
Joe George has had the opportunity though.
I'll be honest with you. I really think
Daniel Dubois is enough to get him that opportunity though.
I think the best days of AJ are behind him. I really think AJ has been fully exposed at this point.
I wouldn't say that, bro. He's just fighting good fighters. He has the best resume in the division.
Yeah, but he has the best resume. But I tell you this right now, I think Usyk, when he fights Usyk again, Usyk's gonna stop him. Usyk could have stopped him in the last fight.
But my personal opinion is I think Usyk is the best guy in this division. I've always said that too.
I give it to
Agreed.
I think Usyk and Fury are tied for the best in this division, in my opinion. I think this two will be a great fight. I think Fury edges Usyk out by a little bit because of size and everything, but because they're both terrific boxers. But if you look at it right now, the best two fighters in this division is Fury and Usyk. I think AJ's best days are behind him because AJ and Deontay Wilder is a 50-50 fight, and I don't think AJ can dodge the right hand for the whole fight because in order for AJ to beat Wilder, he would have to do what he did in the second Ruiz fight, is fight like Floyd Mayweather on one.
Huh. I don't know. I disagree about AJ's days his best days are past him. I mean, I don't know.
Fury might be overrated, by the way.
Fury might be
fucking overrated.
Problem is AJ and Wilder, before they obviously got beat, that they were obviously on course to fight one another. That would have been the biggest payday. Now you got a Mexican dude and an Irish dude exposed both those bums now in that sense, and now they lost the aura. So God knows if they're that hesitant to fight one another, because if they know if they get beat one more time, that's it. Career could be possibly over a long time to recuperate.
Here, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, Brian, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Brian here. Right. As far we think this guy thinks AJ's past his best. I think Wilder, after the beating he took from Tyson Fury, is he past his celebrate did? Is he past his best?
Yeah, we can all agree to that.
Yeah. I don't think that's a debate.
I don't even think that's a question at this point.
Well, so that's an interesting fight, right? I think AJ still got something to fight for. He wants his titles back because of certain circumstances. His next fight won't be Usyk, out of both men's control. But I would like to, personally, I'd like to see Joe Joyce. I don't know why I think Joe Joyce is
Wilder. But will the boxing commission take the belts off Usyk after a certain while? You can't tell me they're going to allow him to keep it for 12 months, 18 months, or whatever, for example. Just a hypothetical.
You have to be inactive for 15 months in order for them to take the belts off him. Because they let Manny Pacquiao and be inactive for 2 years before taking the belt off him. The WBA, you know. So if you look at it like this, here's the question. What is the most realistic fight that's going to happen with AJ? Who's the most realistic fighter besides Usyk right now?
Joyce.
I think Joyce.
I think Joyce's the easiest to make. Otto Wong In would be.
I think
Otto Wong In would be the cheapest.
I think Joe Joyce is high risk, low reward for AJ.
Yeah, but that's also a big fight in the UK. That sells out.
100%.
I'm disappointed. That none of you so far have chosen Methuselah, and that's Luis Ortiz, because apparently Joshua wants a southpaw to prepare for a Usyk rematch. None of you are saying Luis Ortiz. I gotta tell you, I'm disappointed, man.
Well, you guys are over the hill, then you have to call Luis Ortiz over the hill, especially after the last fight. I mean, we see.
But he was but people kept saying he was a dark horse of the division. Now all of a sudden, let's get him out of the way. I'm disappointed.
Okay, listen, I gotta tell you. The only thing Ortiz and Usyk got in common, they're both southpaws. They don't box the same. They don't fucking do nothing really the same. So what's the point? That's like me saying, I like to fight. You know what I mean? So what's the point?
But in that respect, who has Usyk style in the heavyweight division? No one.
Nobody.
Sorry, say that again.
Nobody moves like Usyk in heavyweight division. No one can prepare you like what Usyk can do. For Usyk, right? Usyk might be a small man. He's strong in stature. He's a strong dude as well. That upper body strength he has, right? But nobody prepared you for Usyk in the heavyweight division.
That's true.
And the best thing to do to get prepared for him is to fight a southpaw. You have 2 back-to-back camps where you're sparring nothing but southpaws. You're fighting southpaws, and although their styles aren't similar, although Ortiz is past his best, one thing that you have to do with Ortiz is you got to stay sharp the whole time, just like Usyk. Yeah. So I do think that it's beneficial if AJ were to go in against a southpaw where he has to stay sharp the whole time, because that'll be his best preparation for a rematch.
If I was AJ going in, preparing for Usyk, I would get a lot of southpaws, right, and I'd get a lot of cruiserweights to spar with.
Yeah.
Just prepare for the size and the style, and maybe a little bit of the speed. That's what I would do. Right?
The thing is,
none of them are going to prepare you for, but
the thing is, there have been boxers that I know I've seen them on like YouTube or whatever videos, and they said we can't really train for this person because there's nobody else that does their style. You understand?
Yeah. No, I get you. It's difficult. No, I understand that.
Yeah, but
that's what I would do. Just
Luis Ortiz is the closest, I would think.
I don't think Luis Ortiz would be
not in speed, not in footwork, not in movement. Right. What he does, he's got a good off-rhythm jab.
But I think you're right.
He's a well-timed puncher.
I think your idea might be the best one. I think your idea might be the best one. Cruiserweights. He might have to fight heavy cruiserweights, maybe.
Yeah, well, I would be sparring a lot of heavy cruiserweights. That's what I'd be doing, preparing for the Usyk fight.
Isn't there bridgerweights? Any bridgerweights he can maybe prepare for using bridgerweights to train?
Hey guys,
I don't know about that division.
There's no way you can.
I know we're talking about Usyk, but can you just go back to Fury, because is Fury like a little bit overrated now? Because of, we're saying he's this great boxer, but it's based on his performances against Wilder. Because before he fought Wilder the second time, didn't he fight Wallin? He looked pretty bad, right? And then the second fight, against Wilder, he looked pretty good, pretty amazing. And then that fight against that third one, that fight shouldn't have happened. So how good is Fury at this point? And he looked a little overweight.
I don't think you can question overweight. Let's not forget. Stop Klitschko's 11-year
was in better shape.
Exactly.
Well, look, let's be honest. The heavyweights now, you can't compare them to, let's say, the 90s. You had Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, and these Riddick Bowie. The ones now aren't really the same. So maybe they sort of make each other look good in that sense as well.
Like this with the Whyte fight with Fury. Fury got cut real bad. He never got cut that bad. So you can really say that he was in desperation mode because he was putting himself more at risk because it was a risk that he could be stopped. The fight could be stopped because of the cut.
Yeah.
So he was putting himself more at risk.
Fury has problem with smaller guys. Fury has problems with guys, right? Fury has problem with guys like 6'3", 6'4". He has problems with them. He had problems with Cunningham. He's had problems in the past with
dude. Did he damn near lost to him early in his career, but they gave it to him anyways, and he rematched him. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Forget his name off the top of my head. And he had problems with Otto Wallin. He has problems with smaller guys.
But my thing is
he didn't have problem with all smaller guys because Chisora was like 6'2", 6'3", and he dominates Chisora both fights. I'm just gonna say
that was a much different Fury. Much different Fury.
And
you guys are all right. My thing is this: you guys are looking at Fury earlier in his career, saying that he's a lot better than he looks now, but he's fighting better opposition now than he was earlier in his career. You guys can say what you guys want about Deontay Wilder. Yeah. I know he's not a world-class boxer, but he's found a way to get himself up to the world-class level. Otto Wallin, I think he's proven that he's like a top 15 heavyweight at this point. And regardless what you guys say about that Klitschko win, yes, he didn't look good doing that, but he still beat Klitschko. And what was Klitschko on, like an 11-year reign over the division?
Yeah, he was also 30. He was also 30. He was also
overrated, man.
It was like 10 and a half years without losing.
He was also 39 years.
Wilder win is overrated. That Wilder win is overrated. Let's just be honest, man.
That is overrated.
Completely overrated. Completely overrated, man.
Wilder win is overrated. You can have your opinions about Wilder. I understand he's not a world-class boxer, but he was a world champion with 10 title defenses.
I agree, but you can't say that.
Hey, hold on. One at a time.
Can I say something real quick?
All right.
Deontay Wilder was a bronze medalist. You have to have some type of skill in order to be an Olympic bronze medalist in boxing.
No, you don't.
Not always.
Not always. Yeah.
Nah, he has a point. He has a point. Don't sit up here and say no, you don't, because I don't know if anyone in this chat can go.
Listen. Have you guys seen the Deontay Wilder Olympic fights?
He got dropped in his last fight in the bronze the fight he got the bronze medal for.
Okay, there you go. And you don't. And by the way, just to clarify, you don't win a bronze medal. You medal because you lose technically, so you're not winning a bronze medal. That's
true.
Number one. Number two. Hold on. Please don't interrupt. Number two. We're talking about how Fury's beat these guys and that guy. We give him credit for the wins, but do you notice that? In half of those fights you mentioned, you even admitted that he didn't look good in those fights. He didn't look good against an old Klitschko. I mean, I give him credit for terrifying Klitschko, but I do not give him credit for his offense. There was no offense in that fight. It was a lot of clinching and sloppy punching. With Wilder, I mean, I guess he looked good in the second one, but again, it's against. But hold on, please. I'm not finished, please. He beat Wallin, and you said Wallin's a top 15 guy. Yeah, but he didn't look good in that one either. My whole point is, I'm not saying Fury's not good. What I'm saying is, or I'm suggesting the idea that he might be overrated based on those performances.
Especially based on that Wilder win, which everybody keeps mentioning. And the third fight doesn't even count. Let's not even look at the third fight. That fight should not have happened. Okay, he broke Wilder down the second time. Second time was a good win. But that's it. We're going crazy here with Fury, in my opinion. I mean, we don't know how he's going to look against Dillian Whyte. This is the first big opponent he's ever had, man.
Dillian, he is not going to lose to Dillian Whyte, y'all. A lot has to fall in place to lose to Dillian Whyte. Look,
BDM, I agree.
To your point earlier, I'm going to challenge you on this. Do you think Anthony Joshua looked better against Vladimir Klitschko than Tyson Fury did?
That's an interesting question. I'm going to go ahead and
offensively he did. Defensively, no.
Exactly. Exactly.
Joshua got dropped. He was damn near losing that fight before the stoppage. I can't say that Fury was losing the fight to Klitschko or any other.
Yeah, that's what offensively, he looked good. Defensively, he looked like a novice. He looked like if you had 20 fights. He looked like a guy who had a short amateur career. He looked like a novice.
Okay, so if you're giving Joshua that, because Wilder had an even shorter career than Joshua, and that dude started boxing at 21.
Yeah, and Joshua started in 19. 18. What's your point?
Can I say? 18. I got a question.
3 years. 3 years is a substantial amount. It may not sound like it, but 3 years is a substantial amount.
I look at it like this: if Alexander Povetkin never caught COVID, and he was 40 years old when he caught COVID, I think that Dillian Whyte second fight would have been the same result too.
Huh?
I think he would have.
Here, but we can't forget, right? Dillian Whyte was beating Povetkin's ass in the first fight until he got sparked.
Yeah.
Hey, I made money off that fight. I bet at the 5th round KO.
I don't know about that Povetkin. I don't know about that Povetkin. That Povetkin rematch was weird. Povetkin looked fucking all over the place from the opening bell. I don't know if he was the same Povetkin right there. But I mean, again, who am I to say? All I can go is by what I saw.
Povetkin.
Povetkin had his dad bod that fight. His dad bod was back.
His what?
His dad bod was back in that fight.
The dad bod, yeah. He's like a classic dad bod. Well,
he wasn't on that shit anymore.
He was. Well, listen. At the end of the day, I like this. I like this Fury versus Whyte fight because it's gonna let us know what's what. Again, I'm not saying Fury sucks. All I'm saying is I'm skeptical of some of the. It seems like some people out there in the boxing sphere are making it out to be as if he's invincible. That's all I'm saying. But so it's going to be a good fight to see what's what. Now, in regards to,
you call it a dangerous tune-up fight?
I think it's going to be a dominant fight for Fury. I think Fury's going to knock him out inside 7 rounds.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah,
is Fury going to be moving around the ring, or she's going to be? Is Fury going to be moving around the ring, or she's going to be like super heavy, flat-footed, like in those 2 last Wilder fights?
Here, he'll be heavy, flat-footed because he can't take off the weight anymore.
Fury,
he's going to be in trouble, I think, at some point because he's not going to be moving around. You can't forget about that Tyson Fury that we saw in the first Wilder fight. He's long gone, man. Now we have this guy who's going to be leaning on the ropes and taking shots, man. Maybe getting cut again. Who knows? It's
probably more the motivation, though, isn't it, as well?
That motherfucker Fury, he gains like 50 pounds of fat in between each fight. It's embarrassing. Like, it's just a blob of fat. Like, he loses pineapple on stilts. It's embarrassing.
You have to realize that Deontay Wilder is a small heavyweight, so he gained the weight purposefully to be a heavier fighter, and that's what
to his detriment.
Of course he did. That was a strategy going in, but it doesn't help in the long run.
Hey, can I just say real quick, Boom Guy, good to have you on board, but your audio is really messed up. It sounds very distorted. Yeah. Maybe if you jump out and jump back in, or try to see if your settings are correct or something, because it sounds very, very distorted. It's kind of hard to hear what you're saying. So let me ask you guys, you want to stick to this Fury Whyte topic a little bit more, or should we move on? You tell me. It's your show.
Yes, please.
It's been beat to death.
Yes,
because Fury is overrated as fuck, and plenty of people overrated.
I agree with that. I think he is overrated. I do.
I don't know if he's overrated as fuck, but yeah, he is.
I think Usyk is the best in the division, but I think Fury is the second best, clearly.
Yeah, I think Dillian Whyte is a tougher opponent. His style is tougher for someone like Tyson Fury than someone like Deontay Wilder.
It's
a different.
Wilder would have caught Dillian Whyte with that right hand and knocked him out. That's my opinion.
Do y'all really rate Dillian Whyte higher than Deontay Wilder just because of his resume?
I don't rate Dillian Whyte in the top 5.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Anderson Aldo.
What was your question? Wait, what was your question?
Do you rate Dillian Whyte higher than Deontay Wilder?
Yes.
No, maybe they're like after the losses, maybe. But I mean, before that, I would put Wilder ahead.
I say yes, man. You look at his resume. Let's compare.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit about the WBC belt. I don't give a shit about the WBC belt and 10 title defenses. I couldn't care less, man. Like, we know those belts the rankings are
corrupt. In your opinion, what is his best win?
Wilder?
Joseph Parker.
Okay, and he arguably lost that Joseph Parker fight.
No, he's
talking about AJ now? You're
I thought AJ lost to Joseph Parker.
We're talking about Dillian Whyte right now. His best win, Joseph Parker. A fight that he arguably lost.
Yeah.
And that was a close fight, no matter how you want to slice it. Very close fight.
Yep. He also had a tough fight with
I think people are giving Dillian Whyte a chance because of his style.
What's his second best win? Oscar Rivas? You guys,
his best one's Povetkin.
You think Povetkin is best win? Even at the point Povetkin was in his career?
Maybe on paper. He was washed.
I mean, okay. I'm looking at Dillian Whyte's overall record. All right, you want to pick up. You want to find what Dillian Whyte's best win is. I'll tell you. I'll ask you what's Wilder's best win. You know,
Ortiz, Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, it's Ortiz. I'm not going to lie. Wilder's resume is shit. I will always stand by that.
Okay,
I will.
So what's the problem? I'm saying Dillian Whyte's resume is better than Wilder, and then you're asking. What's his best win? Like, what does that matter? It doesn't matter what his best win is. His record overall is better than Deontay Wilder's.
My thing is this, bro. My thing is this. When you look at a lot of his best fights, the Oscar Rivas fight, a fight where he was winning at first, and he did win the fight, but towards the end, it almost slipped up. The Joseph Parker fight, same thing. Yeah. Towards the end, it almost slipped up. Then when he fought Alexander Povetkin the first time, he got knocked out. Then had to come back, walked him down, got the knockout. These are cool, but these are a lot of his best wins that you're talking about. Fights where he went.
For what?
He's been dead.
One at a time. One at a time.
Dude, calm down, man. Calm down.
You asked if Whyte is ranked higher than Wilder.
Hey, sorry, fellas.
If Whyte is ranked. You asked if Whyte is ranked higher than Wilder, and yeah, I would rank him higher than Wilder based on what I just said. You're picking Wilder's win. Dillian Whyte's win. You're going like he almost slipped. He won those fights. He almost slipped. He won those fucking fights. So that's it, man.
And by the way, can I say something? Can I say something about that? Can I say something? Two things about that. That's what I was saying about Fury. That if you overanalyze his wins, you can see some chinks in there. And number two, let's pick Wilder's best win, Luis Ortiz. Didn't he almost lose that fight? And wasn't he losing every round in the rematch as well?
Dude, that's
wasn't he losing rounds in Washington? Wasn't he losing against
Filton? And then he lands a big knockout punch. That's it.
That Wilder
a
lot.
This says something about the heavyweight division. Wilder might ever fought, except for AJ's.
I don't know who just spoke. Can you guys talk here one time?
Okay, whoever jumps in first gets to talk. Go.
Well, my point here, I'll say my point because people are talking up. You could do the same thing with Wilder's wins. You could say, "Oh, he sucks. He got outboxed for all his fights and then got the knockout win." Like that's it. Yeah. I mean, you can be cynical about anyone's career like that. So
here. Yeah,
I promise you, bro. I promise you. Bro.
Yeah, he could win in a fight, but that doesn't mean he's necessarily better.
Dillian Whyte beating Derek Chisora is a better win than anybody in Wilder's record.
You said Derek Chisora?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
You think Derek Chisora? Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Derek Chisora. I respect Derek Chisora. Good fighter. I don't even think Derek Chisora is better than Luis Ortiz. I don't.
Is Dillian Whyte better than Luis Ortiz?
Yes, Dillian Whyte's better than Luis Ortiz. He proved it.
Okay. And you're saying Wilder would definitely stop Dillian Whyte?
Yes, I think so. I know so.
Ortiz almost stopped Wilder, guy. Ortiz almost stopped Wilder, so Dillian Whyte has a very good chance of doing even better than Ortiz.
I understand that. I think that stylistically, Dillian Whyte does not have the head movement or the foot speed to get out of the way of that right hand. He doesn't.
So you don't think that Whyte could catch Wilder then? You're just like ignoring that possibility?
Yeah, exactly.
I think here's my thing. When Whyte is going after
the one guy clearly has better boxing skills. They both have puncher's chances.
I'm gonna be Whyte is a kickboxer. If anyone knows what Whyte's real background is, he's a kickboxer. That has so many technical
Wilder.
Hold on. Yeah. Me and you, I remember me and you getting into a debate over Ngannou and Fury once.
Yeah, and Deontay Wilder is a basketball player. What's your point?
I was gonna say that. Yeah, a football player or something. Well, who cares, man?
Anderson Aldo. I remember you saying at one point that Ngannou is a better boxer than Deontay Wilder.
Come on.
He kind of is.
Wilder's all right, bro. Do you realize Ngannou is new to MMA?
Ngannou still sucks at boxing too, but that's somehow still better than Wilder. That shows how bad Wilder is skills.
Yeah, according to some people, better boxer than.
All right, one at a time. One at a time, please. Dr. Wavo. By the way, is that how you say it? Dr. Wavo, or like, because Wavo in Spanish means.
It's Philly Irish, Drew Evo.
Oh, okay, Philly Irish. All right, so Philly Irish. Go ahead, man.
Here's my question: why the hell are you guys debating with an MMA fight on a boxer when this is a boxing competition?
because Anderson Aldo at one point said that Francis Ngannou would beat Deontay Wilder in a boxing match.
I didn't say that shit.
Jesus Christ.
All right, one at a time. 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 Hey, fellas. One at a time. Let Anderson, please reply to that.
No, that's.
All right, hold on. I said Anderson. Reply to that. Yeah, Anderson, reply to that.
I can answer.
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying that. I never said that. I just said that he had more skills. I didn't say he could win in a boxing match.
You said he would win. And if you're saying he has more skills, you're basically saying that.
No, I'm not. Literally everyone Wilder fought, they had better skils. And he beat most of them. Like almost all of them besides Fury.
Bro, and you're going to sit up here
Wilder just sucks when it comes to skills. That's my point. That's it. The only reason why I brought Ngannou up is to point out Wilder
he definitely lacks world-class boxing skill. But you're over here talking about a new MMA fighter, a fighter in the MMA.
Dude, it's not just world-class.
It's like 5 years MMA experience, bro.
What are his two punches? Maybe a jab and the right hand.
Yeah, that's cool, and I get it. I just said Wilder, bro. Wilder lacks world-class skills. I can't say that he sucks though, because he still somehow found a way to get himself to WBC.
Yes, because of power.
Drop that fucking belt.
That's cool. That's cool.
Just for the birthday parties.
Okay,
that is my whole point.
You're over here saying that Ngannou, bro, someone who's never boxed before, has more skills. You've never seen that.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, yeah. Butcher's the video board of directors. Sorry, Kenshiro, but the video board of directors tell me to move on from this subject. But I mean, hey, I thought it was certainly entertaining. Hopefully, this one.
No, we can stay on the topic, but it's just that we're talking about what Aldo said and supposedly said. I don't know if he said it, and then the sorry guy. So
I just want to change to two different fights. I'm getting pissed off with now Kamaru and Usman running his little mouth off, and Canelo as well, saying that I will beat him on like Cinco de Mayo. And I'm thinking, you know what, mate? If you fought Canelo, he'll send you back to Nigeria in a body bag.
No, come on,
No,
who said that?
Why are we talking about MMA?
Usman said that he would knock out or like beat him. He's clout chasing, man. That's it. He wants a payday.
I'm getting pissed off with these UFC beggars who can't even make 7 figures, chasing guys who make sort of 8 figures. You know what I mean? Sort of thing. So I don't know where. I know Conor McGregor started, but now you got Francis Ngannou. And what's his name? Usman running their little mouths off. I'm getting pissed off with these guys.
Can you blame them? They're trying to get paid, bro.
Oh, no, I
get that. But the boxer shouldn't entertain that shit either. Let's not act like Fury wasn't.
It's embarrassing, but I don't blame them.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I wanted to bring this up because, first of all, this fight should not be pay-per-view, but it probably will be entertaining. The build-up, anyway. And it is quite... if you look at it, it could be intriguing. I'm talking about Rolly Romero versus Tank Davis. Now, Romero, as you know, is quite vocal. He's unfiltered. He doesn't take no for an answer, as we found out a couple of months ago. And he says about Davis,
God.
if you don't respect them and don't fear, he's talking about his opponents. But if you don't respect them and don't fear them, then they're just another person just like you. Why am I going to respect somebody whose head I want to chop off? He also said that Tank Davis is an awful person. We all know that. And then this part surprised me. He said, look, Duran at 135 would fuck me up. So he's acting cocky one minute, and then the next he's admitting, rightfully so, that Duran would kick his ass. But then here's the other interesting thing he said in another article. He said, they asked him, what's your strategy to beat Gervonta Davis? And he says, I'm going to reveal my secret strategy. Zero game plan. I just feel like things are going to happen naturally, and he's going to run into something, Rolly said. What do you guys think? Do you think
that's talking shit? That's talking shit.
Rolly will save the boxing world.
Dude,
no. You can't. That's all bravado. That is all bravado. You can't honestly tell me, I'm just going to walk in there without no game plan. That's complete bollocks. Because when you go in there and you get sparked out, then you look like a complete mug in front of the whole world saying what you're saying. That's just bullshit and all talk.
I'll tell you how this fight's going to end. Right, Rolly Romero's going to get a DQ in the third round for low blows.
All right, I'm gonna put a whole point out there.
I might put some money on that.
Why is it pay-per-view? PBC has too many guaranteed contracts. Tank is guaranteed to make at least $1 million per fight. Does not matter who the opponent is. He is guaranteed to make at least $1 million.
That's not much, though, is it?
It's legalized robbery, dude.
Because you actually are going to end up with maybe.
Why even talk about this bullshit fight?
Oh, come on.
But I'm going to say, at the end of the day,
it is
he's going to leave it like $400K after paying the Floyd, Linda Ullaby, his trainers, his sparring partners. He's going to probably leave it $400K. But the point is, if you look at it, PBC has to do pay-per-view because it has too many guaranteed contracts. It doesn't matter. It could be the worst fight in the world. It's going to be on pay-per-view eventually.
Yeah.
But if you look at Roy Romero, I give him a puncher's chance because he has an unorthodox style, and I really think an unorthodox style can cause problems even to the best boxers. Like, I think Madonna caused Floyd some problems with his unorthodox style.
But Madonna could box.
Madonna is not Rolly, bro.
Madonna can box.
But he got that hand speed, though.
One at a time.
Devontae Tank Davis isn't the perfect boxer either. He gets hit. I'm really thinking this could be an entertaining fight as long as it lasts. And I really would give Rolly a little bit of a chance to pull an upset. That's my
Hey, bro, I respect you as a person, but your opinion is crazy.
No.
I don't care if you think my opinion is crazy. I'm looking at both fighters here, and I'm looking at history. Devontae Tank Davis lost to Isaac Cruz.
And Isaac Cruz is better than Rolly Romero, bro.
And Rolly Romero lost to Jackson Marinas. What's your point?
Yeah, he got robbed. He got the victory, but it was a robbery in my opinion. But he got the victory at the end of the day.
Put it this way. Tank Davis cannot afford to lose. Rolly can. He can go into the night with Davis. Then that's his whole persona of invincibility gone down the drain. So he can't afford to lose.
I'd actually honestly argue that Rolly can't lose, bro. I think if Rolly gets like knocked, which he will, he's gonna get knocked the fuck out. They're just trying to set him up for a payday. You feel me? He's gonna get himself a nice little payday. But if he loses this fight, are people still going to click on his interviews the way that they do now? Like, are people still going to really pay attention to Rolly the way that they do now?
Yo, can I share my conspiracy theory, dudes?
Yes, please.
I'm convinced that the reason the first Rolly Davis fight was stopped was because Tank was supposed to be the A side, but Rolly was so good at talking shit that fucking Floyd got scared. And they started drumming up these fake allegations against Rolly because Rolly was taken over as the A side because he was saying some funny shit. Like if you look back at all the freaking shit talk they were doing, what did Tank say? Nobody remembers, but everyone remembers Rolly was saying this guy's got fucking my arms are bigger than him. My dick is bigger than his fucking T-Rex arm. He's called him a Pokemon trainer and shit. Like people were talking about Rolly. They weren't talking about Tank. and I think that freaked Floyd out, and he was trying to stop the fight. Like fucking Tank's over here, he's a woman beater, and nothing ever happened to him. But as soon as there's some fake ass allegations on Twitter about Rolly, they hop on it. You know,
that's actually a very good point. Seeing the fact that Tank doesn't have any personality of his own. Mayweather's got to do all the talking for him, which is why every time he fights Mayweather, it's the Mayweather show. It's not the Tank show.
Exactly.
Tank can't sell himself, and Floyd can't sell anything other than himself. So what ends up happening is that someone like Rolly, who actually has an outgoing, flamboyant personality that catches attention and knows how to talk trash, can easily steal the show. And even though he's not going, the press conferences aren't going to change the purse bids. If Tank's the A side on the revenue, then he's going to stay the A side on the revenue. But if it quickly becomes the Rolly show and not the Tank show, and people are there to see Rolly and not Tank, that's Mayweather Promotions is solely invested in. Even though he's tied to PBC, he's solely invested in one fighter because everyone else left him and he can't promote anybody, and that's Tank Davis. If Rolly steals the show, Floyd Mayweather Promotions, Money Mayweather Promotions is in trouble because their fighter can't sell the show anymore. And I digress my time.
Interesting.
But he never was able to sell the show because he doesn't have a personality.
But and it's even worse with Rolly because nobody really knew who Rolly was before he started shit talking Tank Davis. And if he knocks Davis out, it's going to make Davis look so fucking bad.
But
you know what I'm saying?
You guys talk about personality. Now, on a serious, just a quick question. Marvin Hagler and Thomas Hitman Hearns weren't much talkers outside the ring, but they still sold what they did.
Yeah, I mean, like, freaking Hagler came out wearing the war hat and all that shit. Like, he had, he had a presence about him. You know what I'm saying? That dude was scary.
He did.
Something about him.
He had aura about him, but Hearns was flamboyant and was great in press conferences. He wasn't Ray Leonard. He wasn't as articulate. But when he stood up and he put the smile on and he put his arms out and he did certain things and when I say an act, I don't mean he was fake, but he would put on a show of his presence, of his aura, as we were saying earlier. And Hagler's silent demeanor was his aura in itself, and that very rarely, but in his case, his silent aura sold. You just saw the bald head, you saw the goatee, you saw the chiseled face, you saw that sculpted body, you saw him knock people out, and you're like, yep, that's the guy. That was it.
Whoever spoke about Hearns, I'm probably gonna have to go find some Hearn videos because I haven't really seen much of him in his press.
Dude, Hearns is brilliant press conferences. Hearns is legend.
Are you talking about his press conferences, or are you asking about his fighting ability? Because I'm assuming you've seen his fights.
Press.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't he wouldn't steal the show, but he still had an aura. He still had a presence about him when he stood up. He was broad-shouldered. He just knew how to protect. And the times that he didn't smile was like when he was right in the opponent's face. But when they're asking him questions, he didn't shy away from the media. So he didn't steal any shows, but he wasn't like Tank, who can barely speak straight sentences with intelligence.
Wait, so Chief, are you saying that Tank Davis should embrace his authenticity and just go in there and say, "Look, I beat my women. What are you gonna do about it? Like, fight for her honor if you really care about them." You know, is that what you're saying he should do?
Joking aside, I think what you're alluding as how should he sell himself better is what he needs to do is, if he wants to do the Hagler way, is just say, hey, my actions, my fighting speaks for itself. Not address the public stuff that he does outside the ring at all, because all that's going to do is bring a black eye to himself.
Yeah, but he needs something. He needs to play.
Like if you, sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you follow Tank on Twitter, he says some funny shit. Like, I know he's got some humor in him, but I think fucking Floyd just holds him down. He doesn't want him to, like, I guess, sound dumb. I don't know, but Floyd's a fucking that he was obsessed with himself and Canelo,
right.
So he can't fucking like he won't let Tank like butterfly.
I have a question for the panel. Are we all in agreement? Whoever loses this fight, the career is most likely over.
For Tank, yes. For Rolly, no. Because he's got a lot more attention, I think.
And Rolly can talk.
Yeah, Rolly can talk. He's a good shit talker. He's funny.
Once he gets knocked out.
Man, I love this next fight, dude. He's fucking funny, dude. He's a breath of fresh air in this boring ass freaking people aren't even going to press conferences anymore, and Rolly's over here just talking shit all the time, saying funny stuff. Posting pictures of him with fucking chicks' feet on him, dude. The guy's a fucking weirdo, and I love it.
Let's put it this way. Let me go real quick. Let's put it this way. Even though we're tired of Broner, if Broner was able to get a comeback fight over some tomato cans and his blind following that loves him just because of what he is versus who he is as a fighter starts to run his mouth again, people are going to tune in because he's got this flair that people either like or don't like. Rolly can do the same.
Well, hold on. One at a time.
Train wreck.
Rolly can do the same thing. That's why his career wouldn't be over if he loses this fight. I mean, if he gets torched in 30 seconds, that's different. If it's somewhat a competitive fight and he loses, he's got a mouth to bring him back. Tank doesn't.
Yeah.
I think it depends with Broner, because I mean, if he starts talking about this is for the hood type speech, then yeah, that's complete garbage. But the Uber video when I saw with Broner, that is one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. If you type in Adrian Broner Uber driver, I promise you guys will laugh.
When Adrian Broner meets his children, right? He's saying which one's your mother?
So, hey, guys, let's talk about the actual fight itself, because I know most of you aren't giving Romero a chance there against Tank Davis. So, my question then...
a little bit of a chance.
I give him a little bit.
I think Tank's regressed a lot, and sometimes it seems kind of like his power is kind of not where it should be anymore.
Y'all are crazy. Rolly doesn't even know how to throw a proper jab. He leans in every time he tries to throw a jab.
That's right.
Yeah, he knows how to moan, dude. He knows how to moan right, though.
He knows how to what?
Off air, right? No, I'm serious when I think Rolly gets thing. He gets frustrated, and he goes for a few low blows, and he gets DQ'd.
I honestly think that will happen. I could see that happening.
Back of the head. He was Teofimo Lopez sparring partner for a while.
Well, can I say something about that fight?
And you got to remember, Tank could even knock out freaking what's his name? Who got knocked out by Crawford way back when?
Gamboa.
Yeah, Gamboa. Like Gamboa literally freaking tore his Achilles heel or something like that, and fucking Tank couldn't knock him out. You know what I'm saying?
You know what the thing is though? Like, although I'm not saying Gamboa at that point in his career is better than Rolly, but Gamboa is still way more defensively responsible than Rolly and does not put himself in those positions. Like, yo. Rolly
is his Achilles heel, dude.
Every time Rolly,
I said he tore his Achilles heel, though, bro. That's not a normal ass injury, bro. That's like you're on your fucking ass for a few weeks, kind of injury.
Hey, guess what, bro? I'm gonna be so real with you. Gamboa has more. He has more skills in his arsenal than Rolly does, even with a torn.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Yes.
Hey. Let me put it like this. He's got more skills than.
Hey, hold on. One at a time. Geek, finish your question, please. Geek, finish your question, man.
I was just asking, like, do you guys honestly think that Rolly possesses any skill on the world level?
No, he's very.
Listen, you over here thinking that I'm over here saying that Rolly's gonna watch this, dude. I didn't say that, man. But just like counting out a boxer in any sort of fight is goofy. It's silly. Anything can happen.
He's not a boxer. He's not a boxer.
He's literally a boxer, bro. He is paid to box. That is his job.
I promise you, bro. There's a gym around the corner from my house. I can literally grab 6 dudes right now who will beat the fuck out of Rolly.
Well, as long as you promise. But look, I wanted to say something about the Romero thing, because Romero, look, my thing is this. Tank Davis, if he wants to get on the defensive like he did in the early rounds against Barrios, I don't think Rolly Romero touches him. What I think Romero would have to do, and you guys tell me, he's got to do what he does outside the ring. He has to do what he does in the bedroom and take no for an answer. He needs to no surrender. He needs to keep going. He needs but you know what I mean? He needs to be aware that he's going to have to make it a war, because like Geek said, his technique sucks. I don't see him outboxing Tank Davis. I think his only chance is to try to use his physicality and maybe try to get on the inside, because not for nothing, but Tank Davis is not very active either.
Yeah, he's kind of a smaller guy. I mean, he's like built like a tank, but he's like way taller than him, right?
Are y'all forgetting Rolly training with that old Cuban guy? And you're questioning his technique. You didn't see the glove. You didn't see the glove on the stick. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Hey, BDA. By the way, Gamboa is one pressure cooker exploding in his face away from being rigging down.
Come on.
All right.
Let's be. We hope Rigo recovers. We hope he doesn't step into the ring again, but we hope he recovers. Here's the other thing I wanted to bring up, man. Moving away from the Romero thing. And by the way, that's going to be pay-per-view. By the way, now I want to get into this. I want to get your opinion on something. Oscar Valdez, they had that little press conference. Well, not press conference, but like some sort of a media summit to promote the Valdez Stevenson fight. And Valdez said, he answered a couple of questions, but he started complaining about what happened with the cheating. And he said, this is the quote, "I'm going to be as real as possible," Valdez said. "I was affected by the comments of people calling me a cheater who said that I'm using something that's prohibited. That's not the case. I've always worked hard. I've always been a clean fighter. And the fact that they were pointing me out without saying the facts, without saying what the substance was, that it was a clear mistake, it should have never come up positive because different rules for different organizations call it differently." Now, here's my question. Okay, he also said that he's the one that's been paying for VADA before, so for him, it makes no sense. Why would he pay for VADA and then cheat at the same time? Whether he's right or not, what do you guys think? Should he stop complaining about this? Because whether he likes it or not, he did get caught with that substance, right? What do you guys think?
Can I ask a question real
Yeah,
quick?
we would just stop talking about it. People will forget.
Can I ask a question real quick? Can anybody find any tea at all on the market that has the banned substance that he tested positive for?
Yeah. Laxative. You can find that. It's just like, it's not allowed. Like, there's a lot of things on the banned substance list that is easily available and is also banned.
Listen, man, the way I look at it, who gives it? People are going to talk shit about you. If you're fucking crying now just because people are saying shit, you need to leave this sport. People are always going to say some shit about you. Look at Canelo. I mean, fuck me, I'm a Canelo fan, and as a Canelo fan, people say, "Oh, and I'll make a joke about the tainted beef." Look, you just got to move on, man. In the day, just do your thing in the ring and fuck what everybody else says.
Yeah. Here, does anybody find it funny last weekend? But a few months ago, Devin Haney was talking about Canelo and the whole Reynoso team cheating, and this weekend he asked him for a photo. Canelo.
Yeah. What a cunt.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that dude was getting booed, man. At that fight he was at, he was getting booed.
And I bet you Canelo's little red wrist on his right, on the little red thing on his right wrist, is probably worth more money than all of fucking Devin Haney's cheap crap he's got on.
Probably.
This is an interesting thing, man, because I'm looking at this Valdez Shakur Stevenson fight, and I'm telling you, Shakur Stevenson better put on a show, man. Because we've already seen Valdez look bad against Mariaga, a guy who had good technique. We saw him struggle a little bit there with Cervania.
What happened if Valdez wins?
What's that?
If Valdez wins, what happens then?
Oh, he won't shut up about it. I mean, did you see when he knocked out Burchelt and he does that like shushing gesture? Like, "Oh, I shushed you." And I was like, come on, bro. I mean, that's... I mean, it's his right if he wants to brag after a fight, but then he looks bad against Conceição. What I'm trying to get at here is... Oh, by the way, hold on a second. Before we continue, shout out to Tony Boswell. Says, "Much respect, BDA in the chat. Stopped in to show support. Hit the like button." Yeah, fellas, please hit the like button. It really helps us out, man. And shout out to Tony, who just rejoined the membership program. He says, "I always enjoy the content and conversations on the channel. Respect to the panel and chat." Well, shout out to you, Tony. Thank you for rejoining the membership program, re-upping, as it were.
What's up, Tony?
And shout out to Rider of the... Yeah, what's up, Tony? What's up to Rider of the Storm as well for his contribution to the Super J. Says Valdez should stick to boar meat. Boar meat? I think he means bear meat? I don't know. But shout out to Rider of the Storm. Hey, so with Valdez, look, listen, I watched the fight, the Conceição fight. I didn't watch it live, and I said I wasn't going to watch it. But now I had to because, to analyze. I think Conceição beat him. So would you guys agree that Stevenson really needs to do something impressive? If Conceição already beat Valdez, then he needs to up that.
No, he just needs to beat him.
He needs to beat him and get the decision. That's what he needs to do.
Wait, are you saying
I thought Conceição won that fight? So yeah.
Why does Shakur Stevenson have to look extremely impressive and make a statement? Why do we feel that way?
If Shakur wins, who's Shakur's next opponent supposed to be? What does he want? What's his aim?
I want him to go after that. He should go after the IBF. The Kenichi Ongawa guy, because who's he promotionally tied to? That's probably an easier fight to make if you offer him a good amount of money. I think he should go for undisputed at 130.
Didn't they say that they want him to move up, or am I crazy? Didn't they say they wanted him to move up?
Yeah, I think I heard that too.
Yeah, I think he's too small to move up.
No,
Shakur Stevenson.
No, he's not a big 130 pounder.
Oh, Shakur Stevenson looks massive. What are you talking about, Brian?
I don't know. I don't think he's the biggest one. I think he looks a pretty natural 130.
I think 135 is the perfect weight for him.
Now here's my
maybe
question.
In the future, maybe, but not now.
Here's my question then: who would you guys pick between Stevenson and Devin Haney? Forget the weight.
Stevenson outboxes him.
Devin Haney.
I got a question.
Stevenson by murder.
I know it's on the 130 because I'm looking on Google, Wikipedia. The Ring magazine on 130 is vacant. Does that mean that nobody's going to get the Ring magazine sooner or later or not?
I don't know. I don't know if
the winner of this fight should have the ring belt. Me personally.
Yeah.
Well, let me look at the ring ratings here.
Because I know it's after. I can't remember who said afterwards that if Stevenson should fight Kenichi, but then if he does beat Kenichi, if you fought him, the last person, Roger Gutierrez.
Hey, how come Ring Magazine doesn't even have Valdez in the top 10? Is it because of the negative positive test or?
At 130?
Yeah,
I think so. I think that is why he got taken off.
Huh? So Stevenson's fighting a guy that's not even ranked in the top 10. What the fuck?
I mean, this fight shouldn't even be them. It should be with the like.
Question: do you feel that the winner of this fight deserves a spot on a pound for pound list? Considering that, they are both 2 division world champions. They both unified a belt at one point. Like, do you guys feel that the winner of this fight deserves to be on the pound for pound list? Because I'm seeing a lot of people putting Stephen Fulton on the pound for pound list already, and I respect it. So.
Well, that's why. You know what, Geek? That's why I asked. Does Stevenson need to beat him comprehensively? Because it's pound for pound. It's not just about beating the guy; it's about how you beat him. So that's an interesting question right there. What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
Well, look at Josh Taylor. He went down from 7th to 9th, and he won. If you know what I mean.
Right.
Also, you can't tell me there's 10 fighters more skilled than Shakur in the world.
He won. Yeah, he won. He didn't win a round.
Whoa! You didn't give Taylor a round, Brian?
No.
Wow! What the fuck?
Yeah, it was so one fucking sided. Jeez, I watched that fight and I was like,
I don't know. I gave him 3-4 rounds.
I mean, I don't know if just for the American public, you probably don't give a shit anyway. But it basically that Taylor and Cattrall fight's been referred to the police here now.
Yeah, what are they gonna do, Brian?
Yeah, they were.
You know what? There's a bunch of people out there grooming gangs grooming young girls, and the police shouldn't. They don't focus on that, but they're gonna focus on a boxing match. What's wrong with the UK, man? What is wrong with the UK?
It's Cook Island. That's what the UK is. Cook Island.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yo,
no, but yeah,
I don't live in the UK, so F that.
Yo, I heard Rare Breed say something interesting. You said that you don't feel that you can name 10 boxers right now that are more skilled than Shakur. And although you might be right, I feel like Shakur has to prove that before we're just jumping on to that, because I remember a lot of people being very, very high on Erickson Lubin. There were a lot of people who were high on Erickson Lubin. And we seen, when he stepped up, it didn't necessarily pan out to be. I see a lot of people hop on fighters before people get caught up in the whole eye testing. I agree. Shakur Stevenson is a very, very skilled fighter. Very skilled. I've been watching him since the amateurs, but I feel like he has to prove himself before you say that he is top 10 most skilled fighters in the world. I feel like he has to prove that against someone like a Valdez.
Well, that's why they're fighting.
Yeah, I thought he had a very good showing though, round, even though against Jamel Herring last time around, even though, he was a level above Jamel Herring. I thought, I thought he boxed very, very well.
He made Jamel Herring look like an amateur, and he's older, true, but still.
He said that was, very one-sided. Very, very one-sided fight. He has a very powerful... Here, my problem with Shakur is his chin. He hasn't been tested yet. So, I just, I
love testing it
for somebody.
My thing is
put something on that chin to see if
Hold on,
Brian, though, man, like who's been able to test his chin? That's my thing. Like I hear a lot of people say that.
Nobody. Nobody. I agree with you.
Well, can I say something about that?
I agree with you. I 100% agree, right? But I'm just waiting for someone to test that chin, just to see, I want to see him test.
Well, here's the thing. If Valdez is gonna test the chin, he's gotta ditch that game he's never changed, which is just wailing in with lead left hooks. That's his ace. He's always wailing in with left hooks, and it worked against Cervania. He ended up catching Marliaga with that, but he was able to stun Conceição, but it was with the right hand, and that was about the 7th-6th round, and then afterwards he lost that Conceição fight. So that's why I'm saying is if he wants to beat Stevenson, he's gonna have to change a lot of things, and I don't know if he's got that in his repertoire. But I will say this in regards to Stevenson fighting a puncher. Nakatila was a puncher, and he caught Stevenson with a right hand in the 5th or 6th, and that's when what's his name, Stevenson said, "I got hit, I didn't like it, and I went on the defensive. But next time I'll look more impressive," which he did against Jamal Herring. But it did give you an insight into his psychology, which is if he feels like it's too dangerous, he has that game plan in his back pocket, which is play it safe.
Yeah.
Smart. Yo, what's good? What's good?
Yo, what's up? Hey, by the way, we got L-Dog here. L-Dog, I wanted to bring something up later about...
Dog.
I just wanted to continue on with this Shakur Stevenson thing. Somebody else had something to say about it? Stevenson Valdez?
Do we think that Valdez is really like a bona fide, I think he has power, definitely. Do we really feel like he's a bona fide puncher?
I think so, yeah.
I feel like he can punch pretty hard. I'm not saying he's a devastating puncher, but he's like
he's
like on a scale from like 0 to 100, 100 being like you knock people out with one punch like often. No. I would say he's like maybe a 70.
But let me ask BDA, man. With Valdez, does he fight your typical Mexican style a lot of the time you fail?
No, and that's what he's going to need to do against Shakur Stevenson. He's going to need to show some head movement, tuck that chin in, and vary his attack, not just wailing in with that lead left hook. That's not going to... Shakur Stevenson is going to be smelling that from a mile away.
Yeah.
He's got basically a bit like Julio Cesar Chavez type stuff.
And that's he's not Julio Cesar Chavez. That's the problem.
Hey, one thing
he has to try to utilize the jab against Shakur Stevenson. He's very one-dimensional and he's very one-paced. I think that's perfect for Shakur. I think if you're very one-dimensional and very one-paced, I think you're setting yourself up against Shakur. I think you have to be able to vary, your rhythm and your pace and your movement, to give Shakur problems.
Yeah,
I think that a fighter that gives Shakur the most problems is probably a pressure fighter who's going to stay on him at all times. Because I do feel that, although I kind of agree with you, BDA, if Valdez is going to vary his attack, at certain points in the fight, he's going to have to sit on the outside and think. He's going to have to work behind his jab. He's going to have to box at certain moments. And my thing is this: if there are any moments where Valdez elects to just sit back and think and set up his shots and box, I think he's already losing that round.
Yep.
Now, when you say pressure fighter, do you mean something like Lomachenko? I know he's obviously one division up, but you mean that type of style?
In a way, just to be honest with you, I think even a fighter like Kenichi Ogawa, stylistically, is harder for Shakur than Valdez. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Kenichi Ogawa is better than Valdez, because I think if those two fight styles make match, I think Valdez he might be able to get him out of there later. It'd be a war, but he might be able to get him out of there later. But a guy like Kenichi Ogawa, who has a very granite chin, who's just going to keep walking you down and keep putting pressure on you, I think that will be a harder fight for a guy like Shakur.
Hey, bro, here's the problem with Valdez, bro. I've been watching Valdez. I've been watching his training. Bro, I do not think Reynoso is that good of a trainer, man. I know it's a hot take, but I'm going to just say this. He can't translate what he's done with Canelo to other fighters, right? And I've been looking at the training, and just flat out, I'm going to say it. How Valdez is training is not how you should train to fight a black fighter like Shakur. He's standing there throwing these combinations on the bag, loading up, and it's like, dude, you're like not moving your feet, you're not practicing on closing the distance, You expect Shakur to stand there? I mean, what is Shakur gonna do? He's gonna move. He's gonna box and move. That's the style he fights with. That's the style he's known to fight with. And you're just sitting there hitting combinations on the bag. Like, you think he's just gonna stand there in one position?
And that's the other thing about that's the other thing. Real quick, that's the other thing about Valdez is, look, we can talk about what he has to do and all that, but the problem is, and I'm not invalidating what you guys are saying because you're all making great points, but the problem is he's had years to work on that, and so far, if you go back to the Marriaga fight and fast forward to today, he hasn't changed all that much, man. And like Eldog said, Reynoso, he's like the Virgil Hunter of today. A lot of these fighters are flocking towards him because, they want to get that Canelo effect. But if you're not Canelo, then it's going to be a different proposition.
I mean, did you hear what he was saying to Martinez? Like, his instructions to Martinez, they were absolutely shameful, man. Absolutely shameful. He was saying, hey, just move, get your legs back, like box him, like, it's like, you can give like general advice like that, but dude, it's almost at the point where you may as well just say, hey bro, just like hit and don't get hit. It's like, okay, of course if I do that it's gonna work. How the fuck do I do it though? Like, he could have told the guy to stop fucking throwing and looping his punches like a retard, man. Like,
hey, on the film study that you did, BDA, you talked about like Valdez has to avoid that clinch that Shakur is going to try to do. Do you think he's gonna? Do you think he's going to try that early on, in the middle, in the later round? And how do you? What's the strategy to fight that?
Well, it's going to depend on how Valdez makes him fight, because Shakur Stevenson started uncharacteristically fast against Jermel Herring, and then by the 5th and 6th round, he was clinching a little bit in there, and then he got his second win, and he just continued laying it on Herring. Now, if you watch the Joey Gonzalez fight, he started clinching late when he started puffing for a win. So it all depends on what Valdez makes him fight. But like I said about Rolly Romero with Tank Davis, he has to go in there and take no for an answer. He has to go in there and fight and decide, look, I already know if I stay on the outside, he's going to pick me apart. Yeah. He has to go in there and be willing to take shots, because like Geek said, if he just stays on the outside, it's already over.
Yeah. And that's the perfect fighter. The perfect fighter to fight him. I know he's a weight up. For perfect fight to fight Shakur Stevenson's Isaac Cruz.
You think so?
That's style. Kind of no. You can't allow Shakur to think. You can't, like,
I don't know,
sit on the outside and you have to try to set up your shots. You're giving Shakur time.
Yeah, boxes him easily.
That's
an easy one.
Like Shakur wouldn't knock him out, but it's like
it's too easy.
There's a difference between Shakur and Tank, bro. Tank,
he'll be the same as the Tank fight.
Tank is more powerful than Shakur, but he's also more flat-footed. Like, he plants his feet to generate power in his shots. And his defense isn't as good as Shakur. Shakur will just move and outbox him, dude. Isaac Cruz, when Tank was moving, was really struggling to cut off that ring and find him.
No, let me tell you who would give him trouble. It's a guy way higher, but still, it's Gary Antoine Russell.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, it's a big dude.
That's a weight class.
Yeah, that's
you can't. Shakur is big enough to fight at 140 one day.
Let me tell you who's gonna give. Let me tell you who would give Canelo. Let me tell you who would give Canelo problems. Anthony Joshua. Come on, Ray Breed. I mean, it's two different weight classes.
Gary's development. Like, does he have the
size difference isn't that big with him though?
Okay, but Gary Antoine Russell is going to be at 147 or 154 by the time Shakur moves up to 140.
Hey, BDA, can I make an observation?
Yes, he can.
No, I don't think his arms are too short. It would never work.
It would work.
It's a process moving up in weight. You can't just jump up. He's going to learn a lot by moving up.
I was saying that style. I wasn't necessarily saying that, like him, they should fight one day. I'm saying that's the type of style you need to be a Shakur Stevenson.
I'll tell you who would give Shakur problems. Jose Pedraza. Pedraza give him problems because Pedraza, he can box and move, and he's got a wealth of experience against good southpaws.
And he's tall, lanky.
He's tall, lanky, he's rangy, got great footwork, good defense. It'd be a boring
when he wants to fight outside, like he did against Lomachenko. Look what he can do.
Exactly. Nobody from 130 to 135 is being Shakur Stevenson.
So on that note,
I mean, basically, you guys are already looking at.
I think Shakur's unbeatable at 130 and 135. I think.
I wouldn't say unbeatable.
Look, I mean, someone can get him if they get him at the right night. Like, look, if he fights Tank, if him and Tank fight like 100 times, can't tell me Tank isn't gonna clip him at least once. Like,
no one in the chat would know.
Basically, Haney with better skills, isn't he? No pop. Haney, how's he gonna keep like Teofimo off of him, or Lomo would fucking destroy him? No.
Who
destroy who?
Shakur at 135.
No. You might beat him, but you're not going to destroy him.
I don't mean destroy. Yeah, I don't mean. Wait. I don't mean to exaggerate, but you don't think Lomo gives him a fight?
It's something people aren't talking
too old
about
now, dude. He's too old now.
Thank you.
Listen up. Does anybody remember in 2001 when everyone thought that Zab Judah was just too much for everyone around, and then a power punching, competent pressure fighter named Kostya Tszyu knocked him out? And I'm not saying
one problem in your theory.
Second round.
I was 3 years old, but I did my history.
There's one problem in the theory.
I'm not calling Valdez to do this, but is it outside the realm of possibility?
No, here's the difference, bro. Here's the difference, and I know people don't like to bring this up, man.
Alcoholic.
There's a reason. There's a reason fighters like Shakur beat fighters like Valdez. It's because fighters like Valdez loop their punches, man. They're easy to see coming for guys like Shakur.
Good point. Tszyu didn't loop his punches.
Look at Kostya Tszyu. Well, he's from the Eastern European school of boxing. They throw very straight punches.
Right.
Their best punches are their straight jab, straight right hand. This just isn't what Valdez does. That's why I think, Loma, he has a chance against Shakur, because, I mean, you could never count someone like that out, because he throws those straight punches and he can counter you like that. But it's like Valdez, the way he loops his shots, they're just easy to see coming for a guy like Shakur.
Hey, Eldor, can I ask you something?
Hell of a chin, didn't he? Kostya Tszyu had a great chin, didn't he?
Hey, Kostya Tszyu, he was a stud, though. People call him the Southpaw Killer for a reason, dude. Like, he actually wrote basically the game plan for a lot of open stance fighters. So you see how Terence Crawford and Southpaw, he kind of like rolls his lead hand, right? That's something that Kostya Tszyu would do all the time.
Yep.
The issue is, he threw every punch he could throw at Herring. It was his name Herring? Yeah. What was the last fight? Yeah. He threw every fucking punch. He landed every punch he wanted to land, and
would you guys classify Shakur Stevenson as a mover?
He can be when he wants to be. I'm going to say
down too. He needs to.
I'm going to say this. Where I see Loma having success against Shakur is Shakur, he's quite clever with what he does with his stance. He does use a shoulder roll out of a southpaw stance, and he'll kind of lean back with his upper body, but in doing so, it pushes his torso forward. So if you're smart, you'll shoot the straight punches upstairs like the jab, and when he extends his torso forward because he's leaning back, shoot a straight left right to his liver because he's a southpaw. That's something. I think Jojo Diaz would give him a good fight, actually. I think Jojo Diaz might be a good fight for Shakur. I'm not saying Jojo will beat him, but we got to factor in Jojo. He fought Gary Russell. He fought Tevin Farmer. He fought Devin Haney. This is a guy who he's showing he can fight movers and so forth.
He's a great fighter, but I'm just saying all those punches at the same speed, man. You can't throw all those punches at the same speed and have no pop on them. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem.
He ran against. He did run against Nicotine. So
Nicotine.
I wouldn't know. He didn't run against Nicotine. What he did was he just kept turning him. He was popping.
The guy at the gas station got right up. The guy at the gas station didn't even need a count. He just.
I'm gonna be real with you. Nakatani or Nakatilo, whatever the guy's name was, he focused on being defensively responsible after he realized in the second round that he could not box with this dude and got dropped. So Shakur wasn't running. If you go back and you look at that fight, that fight was in the center of the ring.
Let's stop trying to reinvent the wheel, bro. He fought a boring ass fight. Credit to him, but
he did. But at the same time, you can't blame that all on Shakur, because if you look at what Nakatilo was doing, he was focused on being more defensively responsible. than putting out an offensive output. He was not focused on trying to get Shakur Stevenson out of there because he was afraid of getting countered over the top. And honestly, sometimes that happens. I've sparred with guys before where I know, okay, this person has me at boxing. If I make any type of right, I remember the first time I got dropped was, I'm not even going to get into that. All I'm saying is I've been in that position before where you have to stay defensively responsible because you know if you open up at any point, this guy already knows what I have. Like Nakatila, he did not have the punch variety or the ring smarts to beat Shakur Stevenson. He could stay defensively responsible and survive, though.
Listen. Nicotine.
Oh, my bad.
Well, I was just gonna say, nicotine was nicotine was an unorthodox proposition, and we'll see how he looks against Burchelt because that fight's coming up as well. I just wanted to ask L-Dog something. L-Dog, we were talking about you, how when you get bored. I mean, last night we were talking about how when you get bored with boxing, you just prefer trolling. I heard you, Hefe, and I think it's Chichimek. I guess you guys are pretty bored. I heard you last night on Young Bill's podcast, and you were going at it with like 5 other people, and you said that Jaron Ennis is not making weight, that there's a conspiracy going on afoot about him not making weight. Now, I had to go to sleep afterwards because it was late. I wanted to stay up and listen to it rather. I'm just curious, what happened? How did that argument end, or what were the counter arguments to that? What's going on there?
Give us the recap.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, if you guys want to see how he doesn't make weight, go to Thunderdome's channel.
Okay.
Oh, you mean the biggest Ennis hater on the planet?
Hold on. That's not. But hold on. That's not. Hold on. I want to hear the. Hold on, because Ray Reed, you always cast aspersions on Thunderdome, but you never actually contest his claim. So I want to hear what the proof is here regarding Jaron Ennis. But go ahead, L-Dog.
Yeah. So like I was listening to Thunderdome a while back. He breaks down Innis a lot. The thing with Innis, right, is some people, they think he's like the best thing since sliced bread. He's very talented. He is athletic, right? We can admit that he's big and he's athletic, but the dude is he's fighting so many bums that he's kind of becoming a bum in terms of his skill set. Like he does get clipped on the inside pretty easily, and he just uses like his physical gifts a lot against these outmatched opponents. But I'm gonna say Thunderdome breaks it down how he's not actually making weight. He according to Thunderdome, he weighs 185 pounds.
Jeez.
And this is what Innis said. Innis actually said this in an interview, that he walks around like 185 pounds. And one of the biggest giveaways is when he weighs in, he doesn't even drink water after the weigh-in. Like you see the other guy going to grab his water right away, even if it's Lipinets or something. The first thing they do when they're off the scales, grab a thing of water. But Innis, who's really fucking big, doesn't seem to grab any water. He doesn't grab any water.
Okay, yeah, but so you're not saying that he missed weight. You're just saying that something he weighs in. Okay, all right, yeah, but I'm saying just to clarify, you're saying that since he doesn't drink water after he weighs in, you don't think he makes the weight?
Bro, I don't think he's cutting weight.
What?
Like the scale, like anti-gravity boots?
Yo, salute to everybody.
So let me get this. But let's just break it. All right, shout out to 150 for joining us. But I don't want to lose track of this. So you're saying, but which fight was it though? Because I'd have to watch the clip of the weigh-in. Because if you're telling me, well, he's not drinking water, well, maybe they didn't show it. Maybe the camera didn't catch him, but maybe they switched back. Delorme, all right. And I just gotta ask a question here. Aren't any of these? Hey, Geek, you want to get kicked out, man? What the fuck are you doing here? You keep making weird noises over everybody.
I agree with you.
Well, hold on. So Ennis, the Delorme fight. Okay, but aren't most of these weigh-ins now ceremonial anyway? Don't they weigh in way before and then they just go?
Not in boxing. That's only in the UFC.
No, L-Dog. I've seen some.
Okay,
I've seen a Canelo fight where he barely was on the fucking scale. Like he didn't even. He stepped up.
Okay, so let me ask you this: why are they watching the scales? Why is every other fighter at the weigh-in watching the scale?
Because no, I'm not saying that they everybody just blows it off, but you seen that Canelo, maybe it was Kovalev's. Nah, it couldn't have been that. I just remember a Canelo fight where he just stepped up and he wasn't even still long enough to get a real weight. He just stepped up and stepped off. And it was obvious that they had conducted the weigh-in in the back. It was obvious that wasn't the official weigh-in. No, I mean, no one was even being still enough to even get the skill.
That was the trick. My bad. I missed that point, but I'm going to say, when it comes, hey, hold on. Like, I think I get what you're saying. Like the weigh-in they show is ceremonial, right? Like how the UFC does it.
It depends on the commission.
Some are. I mean, but you got to be very still to get a weight. You see everybody yelling to be still. They don't want people moving around up on the stage. And some of them are not even a triple beam scale. It's just a fucking, just a floor scale. They might as well not even have it there. You're right. It's hokey looking. All I'm saying is because he doesn't drink water after he weighs in, you think he is not making 154? I don't understand.
Okay, let me say this. Let me say this. Like I've watched enough weigh-ins, right? And you see fighters like Lomachenko who aren't even that big for their weight. First thing they do when they're off the scale, grab that water bottle, take a sip, because all fighters lose water weight to make weight. It might only be 5 pounds, it might be 10 pounds, some even 20. Like look at Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney, he actually is making weight. When he makes weight, you can see the first thing he does, grab his water bottle and drink some. Now, I noticed Delorme and I noticed other fighters, they were doing that, but Innis is never doing it. And it's like, well, Innis is way bigger than these guys. How is he making weight like that? But also, hold on. This is the smoking gun. The smoking gun right here, okay? Mm-hmm. When Innis is like weighing in on the scales, no one from the other team is even looking at the scales.
Right. That's my point. So what if an hour prior to that, they actually weighed in a room with everybody looking and probably very few people in there moving around. And then he downed a bunch of vitamin water or whatever they drink after electrolytes. And then an hour later, they're actually on this scale with a million people up there on stage, and he just steps on and steps off, and they read the weight that he weighed in an hour ago. I'm just calling it to your attention. I don't know. I'm
gonna give
you Eldo, I got a question for you, bro.
Yeah, what's good?
So how much do you think Innis is coming in on fight night?
I don't know. I don't think 185 is right. I'm gonna say all right, let's say 147 is the weight he's fighting at. Dude, it honestly looks like he's coming in 170 something.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, listen. So far, the proof that for why he's not making weight is he's not sipping water, and the other guys aren't looking at the scale. I gotta tell you, I know.
They stopped. I thought they stopped.
Limit for real finish.
Well, I'm just saying. I know boxing is corrupt, and the A side usually gets a lot of benefits. But this one, man, I gotta tell you, old dog, you gotta come out.
This isn't my theory, dude. This isn't my theory.
No, it's
don't act like it's me who invented this. I actually got this from Thunderdome, and he breaks it down in much greater depth.
Well, I'll have to watch that video.
Can I make 2 points for L-Dog real quick?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. So first of all, so why does Innis get like special treatment? Why is he the only one that's allowed to? People can't look at his scale, and everybody else can get away with it. And two, there's two people who I respect their boxing opinions, and that's Jimmy on here, and what's his name?
Scalebender.
Yes, you too. Who's the guy that we have like weekly or every 2 weeks? Asian guy?
Steve Kim.
Steve Kim, yeah. He's high on Innis as well. And even Roy Jones said that he reminds him a little bit of himself and a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard. So, I mean, he must be, obviously he's got some skills. I haven't really seen any weaknesses. The only one you said was he gets hit inside. But, I mean, when you have an aggressive fighter, you're going to get hit. It's boxing.
So what's the second question? What's the second question? I didn't get it.
Oh, no, I wasn't making it. It was just a point. He said that he gets hit too much when he's inside.
Well, let me say this. When I was like getting more and more into boxing, there was a guy who won Prospect of the Year. His name was Felix Verdejo. Now, everyone was damn sure this guy was the next big thing, and what happened? There was also another guy, Amir Imam. You know, there have been guys throughout boxing history that all these so-called experts and fighters seem to think is the goods, and it just doesn't pan out for whatever reason. So, look, I understand that these guys know more than me, which is kind of hard to believe, but just trust me on that one. They do know a bit about boxing. I just don't know, man. I think Innis, I don't think he's making weight, and I think Aldo could probably break it down better because I think he was on the show where they were breaking it down with the.
But your point about his opposition is he's a prospect. That's the bottom line to it. He's unproven. That's the bottom line to it. He's got all the potential in the world. He could be Amir Imam or he could be Pacquiao. Who fucking knows? But I'm just saying, like, until you go from. I'm just saying, his level of opposition being a little lackluster is probably a little better than his water drinking habits.
Do you think him fighting Theo Clayton is a down? Like, is that a going down in competition or?
Yes. I think
his best when he was Stanley Owner, he moved up from 130 to fight.
I felt Theo Clayton beat Lipinets, so technically you could say it's actually going up in competition.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like a good name. I feel like a good name for Innis and Virgil. I said it in the past. David Abanesian is a good name for those guys. I feel like Bruce Innis should fight David Abanesian, bro. He's ranked high in the WBC. You know what I'm saying? And with that, you can get a mandatory shot, just like Virgil doing.
Isn't Abanesian like up for like a number one contender though?
He's got a fight schedule.
I think he's like number 1 or 2 or something like that. I haven't checked the rankings.
Why would he risk that against Innis before he get like a big payday with Spence or something like that?
Because he's Armenian. These Armenians, they got that in their genes, that survivor gene. They gotta keep pushing.
So.
Yeah. Otherwise,
does he want that shot though? Does he want that shot though?
True.
Could you imagine become fifth and beats Innis? Right. I'm not saying he does. I think Innis beats him, but just say he comes over and he beats Innis. And like Abanesian, I think he's a good fighter.
I want to see Innis in against somebody like I wouldn't mind seeing him in there against Crawford right away, man. Before Crawford moves.
He's just like Innis is just bigger than everybody else. He's just going to bully everyone.
He's a weight bully. That's what he is. He's a weight bully.
Yeah, he's an athletic bully. But I'll tell you another fighter who will beat him, Virgil Ortiz, and I'm damn sure Virgil Ortiz will beat Innis.
No,
that's less risk of a fight, honestly, than the Crawford fight. Here's why: because no matter who wins that fight, it's like Pacquiao and Marquez fighting their first fight or their second fight. These guys are young guys. You know what I'm saying? Earlier on in their careers, it might be a great fight. It might be a close, great fight, and it might turn into a multi. They could fight multiple times in their careers if it turns out to be a damn good fight. So I wouldn't mind 2 prospects like that. Basically, I don't care if they have a belt or not, or they're mandatory. I'm just calling them prospects because of their track record. But I'm saying two prospects like that early on, there's little risk to me. But you put him in there with Crawford or somebody, and I know he's the next best thing, but you don't want to see him get like, what's his name? That fought Trinidad. No, like
Vargas.
He's a damn good fighter, but man, it's just too much too soon, and he almost got fucking killed in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
you're talking about Vargas versus Trinidad?
Yeah.
Vargas was never ready for Trinidad, and I told him that.
Correct.
It could also look like De La Hoya.
It was kind of like the experience level between a Crawford and a Boots. It's just one thing that you can't.
Nah, Eldor, seriously though, I think it's the weight. But, he's a young guy. I think he can cut the weight, but as time goes on, it'll be harder for him as he gets older. I think he can cut the weight, though. I really think he can. But I will say this. I think he rehydrates a lot. Because Devin Haney rehydrates a lot his damn self. Against Jojo Diaz, they say he was 157. And against Linares, he came in 155. That's really big. I think Ennis do the same thing.
I've got a quick question. Now, somebody mentioned earlier on, if I heard it incorrectly, correct me then. Did somebody say somebody might be coming at 170 if the weight was 147?
Yeah, I think Ennis is weighing like 172 pounds.
Okay, I've got one question. I thought, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I thought they stopped all that type of stuff from when Arturo Gatti fought Joey Gamacho, that sort of stuff. If I'm wrong, correct me.
Nah, they still rehydrate.
there's certain hey, what's going on, guys? There's certain sanction bodies. IBF usually has a 10-pound limit. Like they have, they put a limit. You can't hydrate more than 10 pounds. Now I didn't ask y'all, dog, because I'm just asking. I'm not giving you a hard time. So, did they get rid of it? Okay, I know they can step it aside for people.
No, Jimmy's right. But you can see they're trying to back away from that, Jim. You know, Jimmy's right. It is in effect, but there's a zillion different exclusions.
But what fight was that active for? All of them?
I think there should be a weight limit.
Jimmy wanted to make a point. Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask El Dog. Now I'm just curious because I'm not trying to put you on the spot because you're saying it's not your idea. What exactly is being said that he's not even trying to make weight? He walks around at 175. He's just showing up at weight scale, pulling his shirt up at 175, faking he's weighing in, and then going and fighting at 175.
No water.
Is that what is?
Tell him, El Dog.
Yeah. Well, some guys don't drink after water. Some guys depends on if they cramp. Some guys need food first. If they take in water, they can have wicked stomach cramps. Depends on how hot it was for them to take off weight. If they're in a sauna, like right before they come up on this, they're in a sauna trying to get every little ounce out. And you know what I mean? Some guys get cramped up if they take in too much. Usually if they see water, it's just a little sip. But if you, because that's crazy. Because I'm telling you, the night he steps on the scales, he's so much smaller than he is when he's in the ring the next day. Just look at the pictures of any weigh-in.
Jimmy,
caps.
What he said was that Thunderdome is the one that was talking about that theory.
Okay, all right.
Right, so I guess we'd have to watch Thunderdome's video to see, because maybe Eldog missed something, or maybe there's more to it than that.
He breaks it down better than I do. Like, and that's why I was saying maybe, like, Aldo, are you there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here. So what do you want?
Maybe you could break it down to do with, like, the Innis weigh-ins.
Well, you pretty much explained it. Basically, the only thing that you didn't mention was that, it's not just that they don't look at the scale. He's gets on there immediately, and then they get they say 147. That's right. The only thing. That's it.
They don't even calibrate, right?
But like we said, if it's ceremonial, but if it's ceremonial, then
I don't necessarily.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Weird, but that's about it.
If it's ceremonial, then I would understand why they would just do it, because that's what happened with Coolest.
Yes,
I'll tell you what.
They weigh in backstage privately, and then they'll have a ceremonial for everyone in the crowd.
But why did they check for other fighters then? If all of it is ceremonial,
exactly. They check for his opponent.
Well, we need to see the video, because right now we're just going back and forth. But I need visual proof, so that's what I want to say. Now I wanted to bring some. What's that?
PDA. Here's a thing. I remember back in the day that Carlos Stardomir, when he was at 147, before he started training camp, this guy would almost be 200 pounds by the time when he starts training camp. So some guys, they rehydrate faster than others because they started at a heavier rate before their training camp starts. So
right. Well, you also gotta take into account Baldomir had to get to that weight because you can't molest people if you're light. You gotta overpower them. So that's why he's about 200 pounds.
So somebody could come in weighing it a fight, for example, 126, and the night after they can come in 150, and that's okay.
Well, I mean, it's
that's correct.
Wow. There should be a weight limit up to you can rehydrate to. Like maybe
the IBF has that.
No,
but they still do, except for unifications, and it's the morning of the fight, guys. So it's a 10-pound morning of the fight.
It should be for every sanctioning body, because how are you gonna have a guy who's like Innis? He looks like he's 6 foot, and he's weighing in 170. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Why? Bro, look at the photo I posted MMA.
You're telling a guy he can't rehydrate at that point. You see the medical problem with that? You're telling a guy.
Can I jump in on this point real quick, guys?
Yeah,
I was just listening to what you were saying about the rehydration thing. So if you ever looked at the HBO fight with Jamie McDonald and Naoya Inoue, his in-ring weight was 143. Jamie McDonald, that is. And that was Jamie McDonald when he fought Naoya Inoue. He got starched in a round or two. But he was 143 in the ring, and he cut down to 118. So think about the percentage of that body weight. That's at least 20% of his weight. Sorry, I'm working out. I'm out of breath.
Are you wait? When you say you're working out, when you say you're working out, are you actually working out, or are you with your girlfriend or something doing?
Yeah, I'm doing a reverse heavy sled. No, I stay celibate. I don't fuck with that shit. I give no fucks.
Fucking bitch. That's what I said, bro. Devin Haney comes in a lot, man. After his fights, man, he comes in. He weighs a lot.
But I have a question though. Everyone is like getting confused with like ceremony. Does that happen in boxing or not? Like people.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna find this Canelo clip right now.
It happens.
I've only ever known that. I've only ever known ceremonial in the UFC or like MMA. I've never heard about that in boxing.
It happens in the UFC and boxing. It happens in boxing.
Listen. Let's dig.
Look at the photos I posted of Spence and Innis, dude. Innis is way fucking bigger than Spence. Like his back is just so much bigger.
Also,
they're supposed to be the same size.
Also, look at Spence. Wait, look at Spence in the Bud fight. Like he was giving interviews or whatever. He looked like a little big and stuff like now. And then look at his IG. He's all ripped and everything. You know, you could see like all the features or whatever. It's like, come on, you can't look at him and tell me that he's not on steroids, bro.
Wait. Hold on. But now we're getting into whether he's on roids. I just wanted to address that thing, that theory about how supposedly he's not even trying to make weight. Again, for more discussion, we actually have to look at the video, and we have to find out. Like Pete said, Pete's gonna put his Kojak hat on and find out which of these wins are ceremonial. But hold on. We gotta move on from this. We gotta move on because we're running out of time here. All right, Philly, one last thing, Philly, go ahead.
Put my clan hat on.
Objective is to make weight for your fight. If he makes weight for the fight, it doesn't matter about a rehydration unless you have a rehydration clause. That's what Canelo always had in his middleweight fights.
Yeah, that's the thing. These A sites. That's why I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, but I would be surprised because this is a whole other level. But at the same time, we need proof, man. We can't just we can't just jump on this and say, oh, he's not drinking water, therefore he's not trying to. He's not even trying to make weight. Now that's the last thing on that because we got to move on. We're almost out of time.
Before you get to the next subject, I want to talk about
can I get to the next subject? What's the fuck? Go ahead, Susan.
Overruled. BDA overruled.
Yeah, overruled. Go ahead.
Hey, BDA, let me say one more thing.
No,
I got 5 more points on the scale.
Go ahead, Susan.
Let me say 2 more things, dude.
Hold on a fucking second.
Go ahead, Susan. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, BDA. Something happened here in the panel. It was an open panel. I believe this was on fucking a month ago. But a Greek here in the panel, I don't know if you even want to entertain that, but Fighter Spirit did challenge him to a fucking boxing match, bro.
Whoa.
That's Fighter Spirit get knocked out. Fighter Spirit. Hold on a second. I reviewed the evidence because I didn't believe Geek. I thought Geek was just trying to fucking fight everybody, but he showed me. He timestamped it. I went back and reviewed it. Yep, that was sure that he challenged Geek for a fight.
Whoa!
A boxing,
unbelievable.
But wait a minute. When did that? Hold on. I gotta interject. First of all, I remember Spirit being challenged by Campos Vasquez, but I don't remember.
No. I can send you the thumbnail. It was on. It's the Gary Russell thumbnail on that open panel. If you go to the 52nd minute.
Okay.
Got receipts. Yeah. You got receipts.
Yeah, absolutely have receipts. And I'm actually promoting this fight. I'm campaigning for this to happen.
Oh, come on.
Can we set it up? And I hope we can set it up and have the blessings of BDA.
I want to hear Geek's explanation. Geek, can you tell us your version of what happened? How did this all start?
I mean, y'all can go back on the video. Literally, all I was saying was, because, he loves to talk shit about everybody who says one thing about Canelo. So all I said was he was calling Demetrius Andre a bum. Yeah. I said, bro, who are you, a person who does not know how to box, to call a 2-division world champion a bum? And he got mad and was like, who said that? Who said I never boxed before? And then I was saying, I did. And I remember you said, hey, Geek, you called him out. So what's up? And I was just like, what state do you live in? He was like, in California. He lives in Victorville. I live in the Bay. I will go to Victorville.
Yeah.
He just needs
Hold on a second. There is footage of Fighter Spirit punching a bag, so you can't say he has no boxing experience.
A Fighter Spirit? Wait, he lives in Victorville, right?
Case, man. That video don't help.
Hey, Ryan Garcia's in Victorville, dude. They should link up, dude.
Bro.
Okay, come on.
I can't believe we're on the air talking about this. We moved on from Boots Innis's weight to this.
Punches the bag. He looks handicapped when he punches the bag.
Oh, come on,
bro.
I ain't trying to like. I'm not trying to bring this on the stream or anything like that. I will send a screenshot though of me messaging him directly on this Discord and him just ignoring me. And I literally just messaged him during this whole stream too. He doesn't want it.
He has mental issues. He's mentally ill. He's obviously retarded in the head.
Come on.
I'm going to assume the position of manager for Boxing Spirit because I do promote him on here a lot.
You're going to assume the position?
Listen, my advice, you should handle this off the air.
Managing Fighter Spirit.
Wait.
You guys should handle this. Handle this off.
I gotta. Sorry. Listen, fellas, please, fellas, listen. I like the drama as much as anybody, but Geek, from being a realist here, I would suggest you not meet Fighter Spirit in any capacity in public because this guy will probably, he'll probably put that chloroform on that napkin and he'll probably get you to sleep. And once he does, man, it's
he's a nut job. He's a nut job, bro.
Dude, I saw one of these.
I ain't pulling up to Victor. I'm not pulling up to Victorville to the neck. He ain't doing shit. Let's set it up. I don't give a fuck.
You'll be waking up in a fucking pit with a bucket being lowered to you. Put lotion on your body.
Let me run that risk.
No, I think y'all should meet up, man. I like this matchup immediately.
Look, if that happens, if you fucking kidnap me, whatever. Let that be my fucking problem. Y'all can all laugh about it in the fucking group chat afterwards.
I'm gonna make sure Fighter Spirit doesn't do any weird shit like that. We're gonna get it set up. BDA, we just needed, the attention of this brought to it.
BDA, you can stream it on your channel. You can stream it on your channel. I do not care. I just want to box him. He called me out to a sparring match. He was trying to act like I'm a bitch. I've been calling him out. He's not doing something. I'm in California. He's in California.
How much do you set this up? How much do you weigh? How tall are you? How much do you weigh?
It doesn't matter how much I weigh. And I'm gonna tell you straight up.
Do you drink water after you weigh in? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's an important question. Do you drink water after you weigh in?
L Dog, check this out.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
You guys think I'm crazy, but Thunderdome is the one who made that narrative.
I hear you. I can't believe it. I'd rather talk about the weigh-in thing. This fight's barn burner. It's gonna be legendary nights.
The only person Fighter Spirit fights is his crack plug. Like, that's it, bro.
Come on. Wait a minute. Hold on. All right, so listen, Soothsayer, try to look into that, see if you can find some security, because you will need it. Fighter Spirit, I think the reason why he's called Fighter Spirit is because he channels his inner spirit animal. That's why you always see him with that monkey mask on. This guy, I gotta tell you, this guy kills me out, man. All right, hold on a second. Before we... Fellas.
Set it up.
Yeah, we'll say. Did you guys
please don't, man?
Hold on. Charlo?
Everyone, hold on. One thing I wanted to get straight here as well was MMA Champ. Now that you're here, I'm sharing the screen here. We got the prediction league here. The results you and Felipe are running. So I would take this opportunity to encourage everyone to join that prediction league. Put your money where your mouth is and really get to go to town on that one. And MMA Champ, how's everything going in there in the prediction league section? Everything good? Everything under control?
Yeah, everything's going fine. I'll just encourage the people that already signed up for the prediction league to, keep continuing in the activities in the next coming weeks, so you don't just stay at the numbers that you were or the status that you were at, last week or whatever. But I think, if you really talk the big shit, get in the prediction league and I see if you're not actually, a retard.
okay, that's a ringing endorsement right there.
With that cadence. That cracks me up.
I just want to say one quick thing, guys. I'm going to bed now. It's nearly midnight. I'll catch you guys next time. It's been great. Let's talking to you guys.
It's your bedtime.
Thank you for dropping by there.
Who's that, Kenshiro?
Yeah. I never said you could go.
Oh, somebody's getting mine.
You can go, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, Eric. I don't know if these guys. I don't know what these guys drink after the weigh-in, but I drink whiskey.
Oh, good for you.
I'm like Marquez. I drink my own urine. Hey, Mr. BDA, the clips in your. I messaged you the clip. I messaged you the clip of the Canelo. It's someone saying, did he cheat? I don't think he cheated, but this is the same idea. If you watch this clip, this is against GGG second fight.
Right. Yeah, and I've
seen so many people up on the stage that I think he just stepped on and stepped off.
We'll look at that clip next time because we're running out of time, and I wanted to bring something up here in regards to the boxing. Hold on a second. Fuck. Yeah, but we'll look at that clip next time. But first of all, I'm lost here. What the fuck's going on? Okay, Discord's fucking me over here. All right, here's what I wanted to say. This fucking guy here, there's a guy named Blair Cobbs, okay? And this is what he had to say about Canelo, the aforementioned Canelo, and Errol Spence. He's criticizing Canelo for taking easy fights, and he's calling Spence an alcoholic. He's calling him an alky, basically. This is what he had to say about Canelo. He said, he said, there are no thoughts on Canelo. Canelo is fighting easy fights that aren't worth a damn thing, and it's not worth my time. That's what he said about Canelo. Then he said this about Errol Spence. Ugas is going to win, he said. When I look in Errol Spence's eyes, I don't see a fighter that has the true fighting spirit anymore. He's defeated outside the ring. People need to understand that the real fight is outside the ring. He has to face some demons outside the ring, and that is what he's dealing with right now, and it's hurt other things. So you have to see what happens with him. Okay, so he's calling this guy an alky. Now, may I just remind you what happened to Chris Colbert a couple of weeks ago? He was the guy that was criticizing everybody. Then he ends up losing bad. So what do you guys think about guys like this?
Mr. BDA, you didn't even stop. He ended up going on calling Spence a coward.
Whoa.
He called him a coward. I think he's a coward. He's ruined boxing. Yeah, recent video, according to Boxing, just tweeted it out a few hours ago. It's a clip of he's in the ring and he's sparring, and he said, Spence is no excuse. Always in a different reason, but the fight everybody wanted was Crawford. For years he's been putting off. And he's a coward and he's ruining boxing.
I'm sorry, but who is this? Blair Cobbs?
He also said
Blair
Cobbs?
I'm just saying what he said. I'm just telling you guys what he said. That's all.
But Jimmy, who is this? Blair? This is this Blair Cobbs?
Blair Cobbs is his name. Yeah, I'm just repeating what he said. I'm not co-signing it. I'm just telling you.
Nah, it sounded like you were co-signing it.
Blair Cobbs looks like a 70s hippie mulatto.
He looks like
just in your raft.
Yeah, go ahead, Philly Irish.
Here's the thing. Blair Cobbs, I know a lot about Blair Cobbs because I researched a lot of fighters. Blair Cobbs is a guy that was from Philly. He was homeless. Then he came back to train in Vegas. Now he trains in LA with Freddie Roach and everything.
He looks
homeless. He's 32 years old with 15 professional
He looks homeless.
Yeah, with 15 professional fights, he has not fought in over a year, and he's about to fight Alexis Rocha, which is one of Golden Boy's top fighters right now. Alexis Rocha at 147. Blair Cobbs, I believe, is very limited as a fighter. I think he's not going to win a title in this division. I think Alexis Rocha beats the balls off him. And with him calling out everybody like Boots Ennis, I think Boots Ennis knocks him out inside 5 rounds. Rashid Ellis.
Well, let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance. First of all, what is he? White guy? He's a Hispanic guy.
He's a mix.
He's a mulatto, I think.
Oh, fuck him.
You're mixed. Yes. Okay. Broken branch, huh?
Well, let me ask you. Well, listen. I don't know if you guys can. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm sharing the screen with you. And am I sharing the screen? Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm showing the screen, and here's what this guy looks like. First of all, he's wearing no shirt and a leather vest over it, like he's in the Warriors or something.
Yeah, he is a hippie. I was right.
Here's the other thing. If you look at this other picture here, he's got that sideshow Bob haircut. Shouldn't that disqualify him from criticizing anybody else at that point when you had that type of haircut?
I mean, he's got a biker's jacket, a hippie bandana, and then he's got the side Bob.
A homeless.
He's not weird, disgusting. This guy bases his whole personality on Ric Flair.
I'm curious.
He's a goofy guy, but he's not that good of a boxer.
Whoever said beat the balls off of him, are you talking about my namesake or or some other type of way? It was metaphorical. Or are we talking about the full Andre Ward here?
Now wait a minute. We're not gonna get into the whole Andre Ward ball busting thing, but yeah, man.
Hold on. I just got one question: is Blair Cobbs a better boxer than Rolly Romero?
Jose Romero.
Rolly Romero.
Oh, Rolly Romero. I gotta tell you guys, I've never seen this guy fight.
Dude,
Hey, come on, Brian.
about,
Not every Hispanic person's called Jose.
Exactly, yeah, man. What the fuck? Come on, man.
He said Rolly gonna beat Tank. That's what he said.
Well, the last homeless fighter from Philadelphia turned out pretty good, Marvin Hagler.
Eddie Mustafa Muhammad was actually, I think, in between them. But yeah.
Wasn't B-Hop homeless or does prison not count?
Prison.
I mean, prison is kind of like a home, so.
Yeah.
No,
I think I've seen it.
He's just trying to sell the fight.
Yeah, I think I've seen sparring of Blair Cobbs and Devin Haney, and Haney was just beating him up. Like, it looked like Blair was, like, gassed or whatever. It wasn't, like, a long video, but he was just gassed, like, trying to show him there. Looked like he had no idea what he's doing. I think he's, like, 33 years old or some shit. Like, he's well past his shelf life.
He's like a 32-year-old prospect.
I mean, that's not
They
good.
said Bruce Ennis
I never
knocked
heard
him
of
out
him
in
until
sparring.
Well, his mouth has obviously got him famous. Mr. BDA probably never would have talked about him. I never would have heard about him unless those things he said. When you say things like that, when you start writing checks like that, you got to your ass got to be able to cash him, though.
See, Jimmy, that's where you're wrong. Just based on his haircut alone, I would have talked about him. I mean, that's ridiculous. This guy's all over the place. But listen, I mean, I think you guys are.
You guys are anyway. Let them lose their souls.
Oh, come on! He's fucking quoting The Godfather now. I don't want it. I don't want it sold around schools or on children. Now, listen. The point is, this guy. Like Jimmy's right. He's just doing it to get some shine, as they say, and he needs all the money he can get right now. So, listen. Let's move on to another thing. MMA champ mentioned.
What is sold around schools?
MMA champ mentioned. MMA champ mentioned it's confirmed now that they are talking. Both camps are talking. Munguia and Charlo. Now that WBO is moving on from Munguia and they're ordering other two fighters to fight for that belt. So it means that probably Munguia and Charlo might just end up dancing together. What do you guys think about this fight?
60 Charlo, right? Yeah.
That's a good fight. I think it's 50-50 in my opinion. I feel like Charlo has the ability to give Munguia some problems with his jab, and Munguia's defense ain't the best, so he can get caught, I think. But I think Munguia's output can give Charlo a lot of trouble. I don't think the Charlo's like pressure. It's a good fight though, I think.
Is that 150?
Yeah.
I give it to Charlo. I think, I'll tell you the truth, if Munguia would have fought Janabek, I think Janabek would have stopped him. But I really give Charlo the edge over Munguia because, like, Munguia has been protected for a long time. And, like, his best two wins are against Gabe Rosado and Spike O'Sullivan. So, I just think this is Oscar's next Canelo. Want to be Canelo and everything. So, I'll give the edge to Charlo.
Let me ask you, what's Charlo's best two wins at 160?
Dorochenko and
Derevchenko.
Korbov's brother. How about Korbov? He's not left-handed, is he? He's not left-handed, is he? Is Frankenstein? Is Munguia left-handed?
No.
Yeah, he's right.
He's all right then. Don't fight any left-handers, Charlo. It's not a good look.
Yeah. How much longer do y'all think Munguia can make 160? Because wasn't he fainting at his last weigh-in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I hate to bring it up, but that's a good reason why they do.
He's got at least 10 pounds in his lips, I feel like. Those big lips is.
If he didn't take the weight off right, if he didn't train serious enough or take the weight off right, and if he had to take it all off too quick at the end.
He was fighting Monty Allsher, or what's the name?
Ballard.
Montreal, or whatever his name was.
His last fight was Ballard. Demetrius Ballard.
Dude, Rolly Romero needs to fight. He needs to fight Adrian Broner. Be a good fight.
He should be a panelist on this show. He should be fucking have a boxing show.
Broner's in a wheelchair right now.
What?
That's why it would be.
What?
Yeah, he is in a wheelchair. He's in a wheelchair right now.
This is El Jefe's bit.
Is it? Is that because he's so lazy now? He just goes around in a wheelchair, or is it because something happened to the guy?
I think something happened to him.
Whoa!
Really?
Oh yeah, somebody just Mac just posted on the Discord. Hospitalized, wheelchair-bound Broner. What the fuck?
Probably
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Al Heyman probably broke his kneecaps after talking too much shit. He after your last 3 fights.
Not for nothing, but this is about the time the judge gave him back in January. He said, "I'll see you in a couple of months." So maybe he has a court date coming up, and if he's in a wheelchair, who knows? It couldn't keep him from having to get remanded for 90 days.
Yeah, people pull some shit, right? He probably partying too much and he had to go to the hospital. They got him in a wheelchair.
His videos.
Do you think he had a wild night with Tank Davis and there was no loop, and that's why he's yeah?
He got pigged, dude.
Oh, God.
What happened?
Could be.
What happened? Viagra stiffened his legs.
He looks like he's out of it right there. It looks like he's fucking like.
Tank Davis drove over him, leaving the club.
No, you know what it is, guys? I think he saw Maidana at that fight and just fainted.
Oh.
And just collapsed right there. Had a panic attack. Like Amir Khan before Kell Brook.
Maybe he went in there for a biopsy, and that's why he's in the wheelchair. I mean, I don't know. Listen, it could. Hopefully, he's all right.
Fucked up in that picture.
Yeah, he does. Hopefully, he's all right, man.
Yeah, I think he got fucked up, but I hope he's all right though.
Hey, I gotta say something about this Munguia Charlo fight. It's a good fight. I feel like Munguia is gonna beat the hell out of him though.
Whoa.
Charlo is not that good.
He looked better his last fight, that's for sure. Munguia looked much better his last fight. I don't know if it was the way.
Against whom? Yeah, it was some dude.
I know. I'm just saying. I like
this.
this.
Charlo's best win.
Well, at least he's got Derevyanchenko.
Bro, Derevyanchenko is a fringe contender / gatekeeper.
Oh.
Yeah, he got beat up by like a 40-year-old Golovkin. Let's not mess
No, I agree with that, dog. I was complaining about Derevyanchenko keep getting title shots, and he lost 3 times, but he's still getting title shots. No sense at all. It's unfair to every other boxer in the division. It's unfair.
It's like white privilege.
I'm sick of people acting like this dude's the top guy. He fucking loses every time he's in there, man. I've never seen a dude win a fight.
And that's Charlo's
But it's a good matchup, though. Agreed, dog. It's a good matchup. I mean, I would watch it.
It's a good matchup. It's a fight that should be happening. I think Munguia is the best of 160. I think he'll beat Triple G, and I think he'll beat Charlo.
Dog. He lost to what's his name? Charlo. Triple G was a future Hall of Famer, and who's the other guy he lost to?
Danny Jacobs.
Those are not bums. Those are better than anybody on Munguia's resume.
He lost to a dude who had cancer and got knocked the fuck out. He lost to a dude
Miracle Man.
Watch who's 40 years old. He lost to a dude who's
Munguia's chin starting to go, bros. You got to remember, he got protected when he fought Rosado. Rosado almost dropped him, and they stopped the round early.
Did you see?
Jacobs was good against Triple G. Jacob was a good fighter.
To who, old dog?
He lost to like a prospect, dude. Like not even a prospect. Carlos Adames. He beat fucking
Derevyanchenko. Was pretty good in that fight.
I think Carlos Adames would beat Munguia.
He was pretty impressive.
No,
I think Carlos Adames is a speedbird in that division for sure. I think Adames is a lot better at 160.
Derevyanchenko been in a lot of wars, bro. Like he's war torn. He even said himself. He said he's war torn at this point. So I can see why he lost. He's just getting old.
Well, he is from Ukraine. Derevyanchenko said he's war torn, and then he's got to go back to the Ukraine. I mean, he's got to be pretty tired of the war at this point. But let me just say
I do have to disagree. I don't think he beats Triple G Munguia. I think Triple G still beats Munguia.
Triple G knocks Munguia out. Munguia gets hit so easily, man.
Hell no.
Not good.
He's making incremental improvements. He doesn't look like Frankenstein like he used to. He used to just come forward like a zombie.
Yeah, he's getting better.
His last fight. I wouldn't be pissed. Look, none of us can name. People are saying what's Charlo's 2 best wins. We're having a hard time naming somebody besides Derevyanchenko as an opponent. I was joking around about Korobov, but
that was Jamil Charlo. He fought
you gotta rack your fucking brain.
I'm not saying Charlo beats him. I'm saying
it's a good fight.
Munguia is like kind of hyped. That's what I think. I think he's a little too hyped because he gets hit clean. I think his chin's starting to roll. I think Munguia is going to turn into the American Cheeseman or the Mexican Cheeseman. That's what I think.
Oh, the Cheeseman.
I think he's going to get nasty knocked out sooner or later.
He'd be the best opponent.
Are you calling him Oaxaca?
I agree with that. I would watch the fight. I think the fight's going to be good. I'd watch it.
Wait, you guys think Munguia is better than Chenko?
Nah, he's he's better than Cheeseman though, bro. He's more skilled.
No, yeah, what I mean is like Cheeseman's always down. What I mean is not like the ability. I mean like everybody wants to watch Cheeseman. Cheeseman's always in there for a war, and we saw what happened last time with Cheeseman. All that accumulated damage fucking fucked him up, and he got dropped. Nasty.
Okay, so Shazar, are you calling Munguia Oaxaca?
Oh man.
Oh,
Oaxaca.
No, actually, Mexican cheese.
I'm not saying he's a bum. Like, you guys are misinterpreting me. I'm saying is.
But you're calling him Mexican cheese, right?
Mexican cheese.
There's something you guys are underestimating, bro. Those dudes from Oaxaca, the Indios, they can take a punch.
Dude, look at Isaac Cruz.
You could drop them and they'll get back up quickly.
The Mexican
girls
chin,
too.
what they mean is like those Indios, man.
One at a time. One at a time.
Like Isaac Cruz, Mikey Garcia, these guys can take a punch, man. Like these.
Is it Isaac or Isaac? Like I've heard it like so many different ways.
Isaac, I don't care, man.
on the broadcast.
He's Isaac now, dude. Like,
trying to make him sound like a spaceman or something.
To be fair, if the BBC broadcasters were calling him something, it's probably wrong. So it's probably Isaac.
Dude, look at these guys.
Lennox Lewis.
Lennox, yeah.
Bro, look at
Excuse
these
me,
guys'
Isaac.
skulls.
Isaac,
Like,
can you get over
These
here,
guys
please?
have skulls that are designed to take punishment.
All right, now
And this really was the phrenology angle, huh?
I wanna, yeah.
Wait, but on the Charlo thing, I can see like Charlo has that tendency to go into his shell when he's hit, but I can see him totally just getting mad and like hitting it with a hook and knocking Munguia out. So I think it's a compelling fight.
Yeah,
This guy's talking about moving up.
Yeah,
I think I'd say it's 50-50. I don't think either one washes the other one. I think it'd be a real good competitive fight.
Real quick, fellas,
was Charlo talking about-
real quick.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
BJ.
shout out
I'll
to
give you a
Michael
second.
Poe for his contribution with the super chat. He says, hello, everyone. Hate Friday. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Shout out to Michael. Oh, and then he said, I tried to get on the Discord, but enjoy the entertainment and see from here. All right, Michael, shout out to you, man. Yeah, you're in the wrong. You got to go to the BDH boxing channel, Discord channel. You can't just go. I don't know how to explain it, man. But yeah, next time, man, get on in there, Michael. But shout out to Michael for his contribution. And yeah, sorry, fellas. Keep going.
Just click everything like I do. Click all those fucking buttons. You'll get in. Hey,
I'm gonna
the
show
thing
him,
about
man.
it is, we're talking about Charlo. It would be his best. I thought he was talking about moving to 68. What is this guy? He's all over the place, right? I thought he was talking about moving up.
He's kind of a cloud chaser, man.
Until he didn't get the Canelo fight. That was talking about going to 68 with the intentions of fighting Canelo. And now he found out Canelo will be spoken for 2, maybe 3 fights.
Gotcha. Well,
Isn't he
listen,
still in
it
legal
would be his
trouble?
best fight to date. All due respect to Derevyanchenko, war torn as he is. You know. Go ahead, L Dog. You go. I want you to go.
I got Bivol beating Canelo, so let's stop. You know, we gotta stop this. I feel like people are overriding Bivol, man. Whenever Canelo's name gets brought up, it's like, oh, he's gonna do this, then this, and it's like, you know, he's great, but
you know what? I went back and watched that.
Isn't Charlo still under
Joe
legal
Smith
trouble
fight.
though?
He looks. I don't know, guys. I watched that Joe Smith fight.
Isn't Charlo still under legal trouble, like for hitting his family member or some shit?
Yeah, maybe.
Is that cleared up, or-
But let's stick to the fight itself. Look, I agree with L Dog. I think when Canelo went in there against Plant, everyone was like, he's gonna wash the floor with Plant, but he's struggling there a little bit. 168, man. That's where he's starting to have trouble now. Now you compound that to 175 against a guy like Bivol. I mean, I don't know.
He had trouble in there. BDA. Did you think he had trouble in there?
he had trouble, but he was winning clearly. That's how I'd put it. Like,
He had trouble against Khan. He had trouble with Khan before he knocked him out. I mean, Khan was landing on him. It's not an issue, but I mean,
bruh, Bivol got a chin, dude. Bivol got a chin.
I think what BDA was trying to point out is that Plant's length was giving Canelo a lot of trouble. Like, his reach was making it frustrating for him. And you gotta wonder with a guy like Bivol with his range, control of distance, and feet, and power, honestly, because Plant can't punch, let's be honest.
that's exactly it. You just said it. Why should Canelo move his upper body and slip anything when he can just carry the punch? I mean, he can just roll it. He can just roll the punch.
Why you get punched if you can just
because you know how he but you know how he is, right? He's a streaky fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's not like a fucking pressure fighter, like he's gonna go in there and crazy output. He takes portions of the round off And so just like Amir Khan, why should he? What do you want him to do? Get on his bike because Caleb Plant's throwing at him? It's like I'll just roll it. I'll slip it.
So my bad. I thought you were talking about Bevo. My bad.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Plant fight. Yeah,
Bevo hit way harder than Plant.
Yeah, my bad. I misinterpreted what you had said.
But Chief, what I'm trying to say with the reach is that he had moments of frustration trying to time and counter him. And with B-ball, it's in and out movement. It's a different and power. It's a different situation because Canelo's going to have to work if B-ball starts to like bag rounds. And then if you saw, if you saw the Smith fight, when B-ball can turn it on, he has the ability to hurt you, and he has a mean streak. He just doesn't use it. He almost stopped him in the 12th round. Right at the end of the 11th round. But B-ball almost finished him in the 12th.
One at a time, fellas. One at a time. One at a time. One at a time. Yeah, everyone's talking over each other.
This in and out movement, right, that people are talking about, it's not skilled. It's the same thing that Amir Khan does. That's not like seeing people say, "Oh, Bevel got the best footwork in boxing."
I didn't see any in and out movement. I just didn't see it.
I was
Maybe
watching
any of his fights, dude. Look at the one versus John Pascal, dude. Or look at.
I was watching.
He beat the shit out of Jean Pascal.
But footwork isn't just.
Who said that in and out's not skilled? Who said that? Like, I really wonder.
One at a time, fellas. Hold on, fellas. One at a time. Yeah, Mac. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Mac's the one that said that in and out.
Jimmy said it. No, it was Jimmy.
In and out as what being slick.
I said it.
It was Mac.
So
what Biffle
like,
does is that he jumps on the line, he throws his shot, he boxes, and then he jumps off of him. Right? But he only has one way of doing it. Right? He has that sort of like a pendulum jab. Like he leaves his he jumps his lead foot forward, his rear foot stays there, kind of pivots off of it, and that's really his only way that he can get on the line, and it works against like a really sloppy. A
pendulum's when you crock the angle and move to your right. Like usually it's like a right hand. But I'm just saying like the in and out stuff. Like if you should actually try it. Like literally like that's a drill that's very common. Like try and develop the ability to go as fast as you can forward and back. It's really useful and it's really difficult.
Here's what I noticed.
Just one way of doing it, and frankly, Neville does not have the same skill as Canelo in the 50-50 matchup. He really needs to be able to take angles. Canelo, or else he's going to get caught.
He's a better boxer.
Here's what I noticed when it comes to Bivol that's going to give Canelo trouble. First of all, look at what Canelo struggles with. He struggles with guys who throw straight punches, jabs, right hands. That's how Triple G had success against them, Kovalev, and even Caleb Plant. So that's one thing Bivol does well. But he throws straight punches and he moves at the same time very well. Like he can move and throw those straight punches, but also he has what I call sporadic attacks where like someone will be backing off him and he'll just attack like off rhythm. It is really weird and it's difficult to like figure out. Like he can like hit you, you can try counter, and it will seem like, you know, most fighters they go to reset, but he'll just jump back in on an attack. And that's going to be quite dangerous, man. And then once we put that in, he's still got the size advantage, dude. Like, it's going to be difficult, man. Like, there will come a time when he needs to engage with Canelo. And when he does, I think he can actually hurt Canelo just off the sheer size and speed.
I agree, man. Yeah, man. That's a good breakdown right there.
He's going to have to throw more than two punches at a time, though. The person who's going to beat Canelo is going to have to throw combinations.
He does,
but the second and third. No, I know, but the second and third punch has to have a lot on it. If you just try like that was Triple G's problem in the second fight. He wasn't coming through with more punches. And even realize that now. He's actually said that since then. But Bivel's footwork isn't just bouncing in and out. It's his balance. Balance is a part of footwork. He doesn't throw punches. You don't see him stumbling forward because all his weight's pulling him off. He's always got that certain, whether he's jumping in, out, sideways, pivoting to his feet are always balanced.
Exactly.
He's got excellent footwork.
That's why he can do those off-rhythm attacks, because when most fighters have to reset, he can jump right back at you. And one thing I do notice with Bivol, this guy does throw some pretty long combinations. Like he'll double jab, right hand, left hook, right hand. Like he'll throw these combinations.
He's a very well-schooled fighter.
Yeah, bro. Like
was Joe Smith his last fight? Was that his most recent fight, Joe Smith?
I think no. He fought in Russia since then. He's fought twice since then.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Smith himself.
All right. Well, listen, fellas. Sorry about that, but we're past the 2-hour mark. We do have to go. You guys can stay, as always. You guys can stay here on the live voice chat and keep talking. But before I do, I want to say I don't know if this is the real Revolucion. Is that you?
I didn't know if you were going to recognize me or not, Mr. BDA. How we doing?
How you doing, Revolucion? What's up, brother? Man?
I'm doing good, Daddy. I'm doing good. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I just popped in. I had a little week off from work, so I checked to see if you were on. You were on. It was open panel. I snuck my way in, and I didn't get any words in edgewise, but I am catching back up on my box and through you guys. And
you came late, but you came hard, Rev. Just stay on after the show. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Hey, man, how's the wrestling going?
Yeah.
Bro, I had a fucking big match last Saturday. I challenged for a belt at my school. I was a last-minute replacement. I was in the main event, basically, and it was wild, bro. It was a great match. I went for like 16, 17 minutes out there.
Was the venue bigger than that Makabu fight? Did it look like that?
I haven't seen it, man, but it was probably about 100 people. I went in front of it.
You doubled it then.
Yeah, what did Soothsayer say? That Soothsayer said that the Makabu fight looked like it was taking place at a UN refugee center. Oh no, FEMA. He said it looked like a FEMA camp. Oh man!
Hey man, I got another fight tomorrow. I'm living the life, and I'm gonna hopefully get more bookings soon. And yeah, you guys are gonna see it. It's already on the YouTube.
Good man. Good for you, man.
Revolution. Put the link in the thing.
On the Discord, yeah. Put the link on the Discord there, and we'll catch up with them, man. Well, listen, yeah. Like I said, we do have to go. Unfortunately, I got things to do. But Revolucion, good talking to you, man. Good talking to everybody here. Everybody that dropped by. It was a fantastic show.
Cheers.
Please keep an eye on fucking Fighter Spirit and Geek in the Discord, because if it gets too crazy, we might have to do something about it. Oh, we got LT dropping by. LT, last word before we go, man.
Pinche Joto.
Hey, shout out to toda la raza. Shout out to BDA. Shit was nice. I didn't even hear the stream, pero pues, as usual, bro, must be badass con madre todo.
A toda madre.
Fucking beer's going up in price, bro. So enjoy right now, bro. A month from now, it's going to be way more expensive. So everybody go get yourself a 12-pack, the Corona, or whatever, modelos, or whatever you guys like to pistear, ¿me entiendes? Éntrenle con madre.
All right, yeah.
Dude,
get some Guinness,
how
man.
did you
I promise you, LT's got chrome door handles on his truck. Chrome door handles, chrome trim all over it for sure.
This guy, LT, man, like, I don't know, he just becomes more and more LT by the day.
Well, that's what he does, man. That's what he does. The LT persona is consuming him, and he's going to become pure, undiluted LT one of these days. We hope that day soon. Shout out to everybody, guys. Thank you, everybody on the panel, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Michael Poe, I'll leave you a link I'll send you a photograph of how to log on to the Discord. And shout out to everybody else that donated via the super chat as well. Don't forget, we're going to be back again one of these days, possibly maybe Sunday. Don't forget to check out the Second Renaissance. Try to look for us over there at Odyssey. That move is happening from YouTube to Second Renaissance. And that's about it, fellas. Thanks again for joining us. Catch you on the next one. Take it easy. Hope you have a good night.
Hey, and no problem. You know, you guys are welcome. You know,
hit the like button.